wasn't happening because I still got to get some things figured out with Linux. Everything else is working though,
Nice.
so more or less.
Everything
And
working on
we
my
are
end?
live.
Very
I've
nice.
even got the soundboard cracking.
Nice.
That was a whip, not a crack.
So how was everybody's Thanksgiving overall?
Is that what it was
feeling.
yesterday?
I want this Funko Pop Johnny Bravo.
Uh-oh.
What?
That was a funny thing that whip cracks from Johnny Bravo.
Funko Pop literally made a Johnny Bravo.
Oh God.
Like, I'm not even kidding.
Thanksgiving, my Thanksgiving was all right. Kiddo's still sick, so we're still dealing with that.
Oh,
You still have a
Monday.
fever? Has the fever come back at all, or no?
He was a little warm. I wouldn't call it a fever, but he's still in good spirit, but his congestion's still pretty bad. And we tried actually calling out urgent care, and they're like, "Oh, well, if he hasn't been sick for 12 days, we're not going to see him." I'm like, "What?"
What the fuck type of medical bullshit do you have there? Because that shit wouldn't fly here.
The worst state in the union in healthcare.
It's like you got a sick kid, you make a phone call, they're really like, okay, come on in, bring him down.
Yeah, but he's got a vapor. No, he's got the humidifier and he's got a vaporizer going right now.
You got a Vicks vapor up?
Oh yeah, that's what knocked him out. I rubbed Vicks all up on him. He's out.
Put it in the humidifier too.
Yeah, we saw that hack. We're gonna do that.
I mean, the more you can get it, if you get some Mucinex for them, they make kids versions of it. Try that.
My friend, one of my close friends from high school, she's actually an RN, and she's actually gonna make a house call tomorrow. She actually will have time. I was like, oh, you're an RN. Come check him out.
well, like I was saying before, my sister and my mother came up from Tennessee. She
Very
brought
good.
her 3 young boys. One is 5, the other one is 3, and the latest one is under a year.
Every 2 years. Good. Prime number right there.
Yeah, she's knocking them out like clockwork.
Wow.
Not Mormon, is she?
No, she's Catholic.
Oh,
Okay, never mind.
come on, Greg. Greg.
Mormons pop out crazy too.
Oh, this is why we can't have nice things.
Oh, they came to the house for dinner. The wife cooked everything. The kitchen was her refuge from the chaos. And while me, my sister, and my mom were in the midst of the chaos. And then
she had her controlled chaos in the kitchen. You guys dealt with the actual chaos.
Then today we went to the Science Center of Iowa and ran around that place for a little while before going back to the hotel for dinner. So I'm off. They'll be driving home tomorrow morning.
Very good.
It's been 3 years since I've seen him. So
Yeah. So I got to sit and listen to an alarm scream for 45 minutes to an hour yesterday.
damn.
That sucked.
Yeah. No one around. No, of course, Thanksgiving has to happen on, so, no one gives a shit. They're like, they could get a hold of the guy that was supposed to come and do anything about it. It sucked. But, had good food, though, so, yeah. Between what I got, that I put together myself, and then my former boss actually brought a whole bunch of food over from their Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I had quite a bit. I still got quite a bit of leftovers. Yeah,
Jason,
it was a
I
fun
see
day.
you're in costume tonight.
I am.
What's the occasion?
He wants to extend his proton pack for all
do.
to see.
Was it a Ghostbusters night?
It was.
Awesome.
And there's this kiddo with the Jurassic Park shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that a mile away. Speaking of Jurassic Park, holy shit. the prologue. Oh my god. That was a nerd wet dream for me.
Yes.
I love that. So, from what I'm understanding, Trevorrow said that what we saw is considered basically like a short film, like Battle at Big Rock, and it will not be in the main film.
Whenever I seen that Jurassic Park short, yes, I know I digged on it a bit, but still, it was like this.
You're echoing, or like what Sun said earlier.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. That I wasn't sure what I was seeing at first. I was thinking, is this Sorna? Is this Nublar?
Right.
What's going on here? It took me a little bit to realize, oh, this is actual prehistoric Earth, because a couple of those dinosaurs, like the egg thief, we didn't see that. They didn't make those in the park. That we
the first sauropod we see is a Mamenchisaurus. And then of course we go on to see the pterodons, and it's not Quetzalcoatlus, it's the bigger one. I forgot what the name of it. But yeah, it was amazing to see. Oh my god! So there were 2 breakdowns of this video on IGN. Trevorrow broke it down, did an amazing job. He was thrilled to break it down for everybody. Then they actually had a paleontologist coming from the Natural History Museum, and they're like, "Well," he goes, "I love the incorporation figures, but a Giganotosaurus and a T-Rex have never met. They're separated by 30 million years." I started laughing.
But yeah, the feathery T-Rex was an interesting touch.
Yes.
After they walked back the feathery Velociraptors in between 3 and World.
Those are pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like they just glued feathers on them. What kind of feathers are we supposed to put on these things? Like pigeon feathers? Yeah, that'll work.
Moros Intrepidus, I believe it was, the little one picking the meat out of the Giganotosaurus mouth. That was a recently newly discovered dinosaur, and it's basically, how did he described it as a mini T-Rex.
It would make sense that there would be symbiotic relationships like that within the dinosaur kingdom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, you see it now. I mean,
Exactly.
With whales and whale sharks, you have the little ones that are just.
Hey, Brenda. Hello, cat girl. How y'all doing?
Cool. Not just that, you got the smaller fish that pick the parasites off of sharks.
Right.
You've got, I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it, but there's supposed to be a reptile that picks food out of alligator teeth, just like we saw with the T-Rex.
So it makes total sense.
Birds do it like gators too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was.
And then them chasing Rexy through the woods was like, oh my god.
Yeah, him walking through a drive-through theater.
She.
Yes, that's right. She.
Bad, Ross. Bad.
They're all girls, unless otherwise, because they can, shift genders.
Reproduce asexually. Yeah.
Because they're part frog.
Some West African frogs. This prologue definitely just got me absolutely hyped, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need to see this movie already.
I mean, if they're just chasing the big one around, you've got Blue running around the LA suburbs.
Oh no, God no! That's like that. So 2 things about that one. One, Blue is way further north in California, where that house was, Hammond's partner, and the neighborhood that Blue overlooks. That's the same neighborhood in E.T. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Trevorrow did confirm, and I love that he said this, that Sam Neill, Dern, and Goldblum are not cameos. They are playing a significant role in the movie. I'm like, thank you for confirming that. They are not cameos.
They're not pulling the Sony bullshit and trying to hide it early on, which that's stupid of Sony. I mean, come on. Don't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go on that rant. Not going to go on that rant.
They got to leave some mystery, Justin.
Yeah, like Lizard getting punched in the air. Just air hits him. But yeah,
a flying piece of debris.
Flying lizard. I mean, it happens.
It was it was one of those weird government drones that you see everywhere. I'm sorry, I mean birds. It was bird.
Cat, what
Another
the hell?
another funny thing Trevorrow said when he was breaking out the trailer, he's like, I love the T-Rex. I hate when the T-Rex dies. So he goes, if you hate the Giganotosaurus, I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Rexy is still killing it. The only film she wasn't in was, well, she wasn't in 2 and 3,
No, she was not in 2 and 3.
but I like that continuity that she is the same T-Rex from the first film.
Yes.
As
And,
it should be.
So, son, where the hell are you this week?
Oh,
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we haven't heard about your Thanksgiving either. We kind of jumped the gun straight into
we did, yeah.
Yeah, Greg.
Jurassic Park. But hey, we're giddy. There's no structure today. It's chaos tonight as well.
And Jurassic
Cats
Park.
and dogs living together.
Ghostbusters.
Mass hysteria.
Blacktop is back. Back again.
So give me just a moment, because I have to give Justin a picture, and then I will talk about my Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
Your
I
Honor.
posted in chat.
Yes, Your Honor, it's true. This man has no dick.
Is it that one?
Mm-mm.
I don't have Discord open, by the way, so if you're trying to send it to me via Discord,
Oh, for the love of God, don't watch. And I know Justin already knows this, but the show La Brea on Hulu, don't watch it.
don't.
La Brea?
No.
La Brea. It's named after the La Brea tar pits. The premise is the La Brea tar pits open up to be a giant
Parallel world.
a parallel world 10,000 years ago. It opens a portal, they fall in, and it's back in 10,000 BC, for Christ's sake. So it's a Land of the Lost ripoff, basically.
It's horrible. It's
The reason I know what's going on is because Leia is watching it. But every time she watches, she goes, "Oh my god, it got dumber this week." So she gives me her.
I enjoy what brain cells I have left. So yeah, no.
And the main
Reminds me of when my wife was watching the Beauty and the Beast TV series.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Or whenever you watch Lucifer's season finale.
Okay, see, but Lucifer isn't bad like those shows are.
We're talking about bad shows,
Bad
Justin. Bad shows.
We're like
Not
bad,
the good ones that I don't have time for.
Hold
The
on,
bad
Ross.
shows that we've seen before.
I got Ross's back on this one. See, Justin, the difference between Lucifer and those shows is those shows have bad producers, like you.
Are we feeling a bit lost, Justin?
Remember, I have the power, Greg.
Worth it.
That was worth it.
Well, if you have the power, you're certainly not He-Man. You're more like a Meh-Man.
Ah.
So the picture is there, Justin. Yeah.
Oof.
So
I
the
went to the second degree.
So the mashed potatoes tried to kill me this year.
Yeah, you were telling me about that yesterday.
Yeah.
pop it.
Yeah.
Just take a needle and.
God, no. Have you ever popped a burn? No.
Oh yeah, hell yes, I have.
Like the mashed potatoes literally just started fucking erupting and tried to kill me.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah.
I've got two scars from when I got popped from oil at McDonald's. The grease fryer oil got all over my arm, and it just blistered up, and I just ripped the skin off. I just popped them. Yeah.
Who are you?
He's a
Bavarian.
man,
He's an
obviously.
That's questionable. After
that's what we call
ripping
being a-
your own skin off. Jesus.
That's what we call being a dumbass.
He's a man, obviously.
It was when I was in
mean,
school to be an EMT, and I'm like, hey, this will be great to walk into class. So I just ripped the blisters off, and I was like, hey, now we get to do second-degree burns.
We all
No,
do
no.
dumbass shit when we're kids, huh?
I still do.
And some just continue to transition into adults.
Mm-hmm.
I messed up my hand pretty bad a few years ago. I was making breakfast for the wife when we were still dating, and I decided to show off by just
Uh-oh.
tossing the eggs into the pan.
Oh,
Well, I
no.
had hot oil in there, and the oil kind of splashed off onto my
Oh,
hand, and I had a splattering of blisters all over my hand.
See,
no.
Did you wait, hold on? Did the egg yolk break?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no. I mix my eggs before I put them in the pan.
Oh, so scrambled eggs.
Yes, it was scrambled.
You're
eggs.
trying to flip scrambled eggs.
No, I didn't try and flip anything. I was just being a little showy.
Yes, I know what he was doing.
I was adding a little flourish to my pour, and it had too much energy, and I paid for it.
He was trying to do this thing, just go.
You're supposed to flinch, not. You're supposed to flinch, not whack.
This week on
Just
Food
tap
Network.
it. Tap it in.
Not to mention all the times I have slightly burned myself when working next to a donut fryer.
I do have to
Oh.
mention though. This burn is nothing compared to what I did as a kid, which is probably why I have such soft hands. Because as a kid, at my grandfather's house on my father's side, it's like, hey, go outside and play. While you're here for Christmas, go outside and play. And yeah, they had an old heating system, aka wooden stove. So guess who stuck their hands in warm embers outside?
Is
That were
her name
dumb.
Sun Xiao?
Yeah. So I spent a couple of days with my hands wrapped.
Oh,
That would do
that
it.
just makes me flinch.
Hey, look, I have to admit, every time someone comes up and touches my hands, they're like, "What the hell do you do to get your hands so soft? What lotion are you using?" I don't use any lotion. I literally burnt my hands as a kid. They're really soft.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I still have great eyesight, or that I can even see, because I remember when I was working at McDonald's, along the same time when I decided to have grease pop on my arm, I was just putting nuggets in the fryer. Just put them in the fryer, just like that. The grease apparently was just, I guess somebody set the temperature too high, so it popped. And what happens when it popped, it got me right in the eye, right here on the side, and I was like, oh, fuck, I can't see. That was not a fun feeling. It didn't even blister, but that was a fucked feeling.
I'd imagine so. So, did anybody else fall through a glass top table as a kid?
No.
I went through the front door, the glass
Greg?
front door.
Greg, you fell through a glass top table as a kid?
I was pushed. Yes.
You were pushed. Okay, so you didn't crawl up on top of it and fall through it.
Oh no, I did not do that. No.
No, okay.
So
I crawled up on top of it and fell through it.
I kind of did a thing when I was
I
a
got
kid
stitches everywhere.
at my grandmother's house, and we had the old solid glass front doors. Well,
Mhm.
I thought we had.
Justin, did they have glass doors in the 1600s like that?
Fuck you.
Of course they did.
Of course he did. But anyways,
Of course they did. It was cheaper than wooden
we
doors.
thought we had the door slider where it stayed open. Well, unbeknownst to me, that the side slide shut, and I was running through the house and went through the front window and landed on the porch. That's good times.
They used Windex, didn't they? For that streak-free shine.
Oh, I was about 4, I think, whenever that happened. So yeah, it wasn't.
So it
fun.
wasn't Windex then, it was Comet Cleaner.
Exactly.
I've never broken through glass tables, but I have had more than a couple incidents with kerosene heaters.
Oh.
I lived in an old house with no real central heating, so that's how we got by in the winter.
Well,
So not, yeah.
but you
as well
learn
as-
after the first time.
Yeah, the first time.
So not as a kid, but in my 20s when I was drunken at a friend's house after some
A kid?
Everclear and a
Ooh.
case of Bud Light, I
Uh-huh.
decided that I needed.
How did you survive Everclear and Bud Light?
Well, here's the thing. I decided I needed to go to the bathroom pretty rapidly, or I wasn't going to survive. So I stood up and I went face first into their glass coffee table, smashing it.
Ooh.
Oh,
Luckily, I didn't get cut. I don't know how I avoided that, but then I did spend. I
You
woke up the
didn't
next
get
morning.
cut, but you did relieve yourself immediately.
But I did wake up the next morning hugging the base of a porcelain.
the porcelain god.
Yep.
Been there, done that.
This
Many
wasn't the last
times.
time I had Everclear.
The last time I had vodka, the vodka's when I won't touch again. I was 19. I was with my roommates, and they're like, hey, we're throwing a big old party for your birthday. It's like, okay, cool. But the beer, they were late with the beer, so we're like, well, you have to have your birthday drink. So instead of me doing a beer bong with a beer, they made me do it with 2 screwdrivers.
Oh, and you were a new alcoholic. Oh,
Mhm. I was 19, and
so
I drank it. Like, yeah, but then after that, I don't remember what happened.
one of my last big parties before I got sick, it was a New Year's thing, and I was working. The owner's wife was making everybody drinks, because that's the kind of thing we did in the holidays. She would get us all drunk, and then we would try to close up shop early. Miserably failing usually, but we would still get things mostly done. But I was drunk off of wine, beer,
Ooh.
liquor, and then someone brought vodka. I don't remember the ride home that night, but apparently I was hanging out of the side of the cab we were in, hollering at just nothing. And I remember going back to work the next day.
So you
and
basically turned into a dog that evening.
pretty much. And we were going to work the next day, and they're just like, "How are you functioning?" And I'm just like, with an extreme hangover. Why? What did I do last night? It's like, well, where do we start? I'm like, oh God. So they will no longer. From that point on, they're like, you no longer get to have vodka. Because I was fine up until I got the vodka. Because once the vodka came in, that was it. No more. I was done.
Back when I drank, vodka didn't really bother me. Neither did beer or most liquors. It was tequila that was my weakness.
Oh my God.
None of my drinking stories end well that involve tequila, and the best of those.
That's how it goes.
I was in Sasebo, Japan. We were deployed, and my ship had a major malfunction at sea. The periscope kind of got stuck.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Yeah, it got stuck in the up position. So we were in a little bit of trouble. We couldn't stick around to where we were, so we had to leave and make repairs. So we pulled into Sasebo to get that done. And we were out and about, not much to do with the liberty restrictions we had. So I went drinking with one of the other guys on the ship, a younger, more junior guy. And we're at a little karaoke bar called A Taste of Manila, staffed by a bunch of lovely Filipino ladies. And they had a karaoke machine that rated you based on your performance.
Oh God.
And if someone scored double digits or same digits, 11, 22, 33, and so on, the bar would get a round of tequila shots. Well, I love karaoke. And my artist of choice is Frank Sinatra.
God.
And I went through the entire catalog. I had that whole bar eating out of the palm of my hand. It was glorious until I ran out of Sinatra. And I was in a really nice haze. So I made the poorest of poorest decisions for karaoke.
He decided to sing Kiss.
No,
no.
That would have been better than
You started singing country.
Bop
What?
Oh.
by Hanson.
Oh.
An octave lower than they sang it.
Why?
Because I was drunk on tequila. I could not make good decisions. It was so bad. The crowd went from cheering to booing to one of the ladies hitting the breaker to get me to stop.
Thank God.
The power went out before the song finished.
That's probably a good thing.
Awesome.
That's great.
The podcast. Oh, I'm muted. Okay, that's an issue. Okay, there we go.
Who said you were muted? We heard you.
Um,
No, the
I've been muted on my Twitch stream.
yeah.
I've been muted. So they've been hearing all of you, but nobody's heard me.
Oh, look, Carlos Pedraza is finally here.
I'm finally here.
What happened to Greg?
I don't know. He must have heard I was coming.
Yeah, he did. Greg heard he was coming and ran. Welcome to Casual Friday.
I'm wearing my tenny runners.
Are you really? Really? Oh God, he's flexing for us.
Careful, you're gonna throw a hit, Carlos.
I almost did.
I mean, you're old, Carlos, so you got to be careful.
He almost dislocated his neck doing that.
No, it was really just my leg that was at issue there. Neck was fine. Also, I was trying not to smack the microphone.
Oh,
Okay, so it appears I am a complete dumbass and didn't check the audio levels to make sure people could actually hear us on my Twitch stream.
Oh.
So
They
the
didn't
last
message you and say,
26
since we can't hear
minutes.
you, why don't you stand on your head for 5 minutes? Like they
So what
do.
you're saying is, Ross, you get to tell us that Japanese tequila story again.
No, I don't think so. The moment's passed.
Well, if they want, they can come back on my stream in reverse time and watch it. Since I had to make sure my audio was working before I hit record.
Hey, Justin, but
It's been a long day. Give me a damn break.
You know what's better than
It's been a
Ross's
long 2
Twitch?
days.
We could do channel redeems and sub to Ross's Twitch.
That's like super meta, man.
Shit.
Oh fuck!
I am trying to get to 20 subs by the end of the year.
The fact that oh shit!
What?
Probably couldn't above.
Oh.
Hydrates.
F you, Andrew. I miss you. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm waiting for my pie.
So good.
All right. Thank you, Phil, for letting Ross know he's only half a dumbass.
That's
not a
my
complete-
audio. It's definitely working.
No, I'm still a complete dumbass.
That's from my
Justin's
No, you're not.
I'm the semi dumbass.
I think
the-
you're probably the smartest guy here, Ross.
Depends on who you
Turn my
ask.
audio up a bit more.
Well, I'm asking me.
Where's the remove button?
That looks a little better. Just a little bit more.
I mean,
Beard
Jason-
Fosse, how are you doing?
There we go. Looks good.
Doing good.
You're looking good. You're looking
you.
ready to
Thank
kick
you,
some
Akali,
ghost butt.
for the feedback.
I am. I figured since
We are going to be
Ghostbusters-
talking. We're reviewing Afterlife tonight, right?
officially dethroned the
No.
Eternals for #1 movie in America this week.
Did it really?
Yes, it did.
Huh. It seems to me in a pandemic. Let's see. The only way you get pies if you get. Oh, that can be arranged, Andrew.
Carlos needs another.
At
Carlos
least
needs
someone
another train
thinks
trip.
Carlos is tasty.
Well, I mean, Carlos is fat, so I mean, it's a well-known displayed public thing.
Justin,
I prefer the term jolly.
You're really calling the kettle black here.
Well,
Right?
you have to know the joke. It's a long-running thing between him, Sean, and David.
No. The only long-running thing between I can't say anymore.
No.
Oh, you've said enough, son. You've said enough.
So, Carlos, how was your Thanksgiving?
I had a great Thanksgiving. I didn't have to cook, so I went. The guy who was cooking, he's the brother of a good friend of mine. He's a retired doctor, and he spends all his time in retirement cooking amazing things, and so that's what he did all day yesterday.
So you ate all their food. Okay.
I ate a good chunk of it, I would say, and plus they sent me home with some too. So that tells you
Nice.
There was only 6 people there, so really there was probably a big enough spread for maybe 10. Really,
So you ate enough for 10 people. Okay.
that's rounding up a bit there, Justin. Okay, so I have to do some quick questions. Greg, how's your boy?
He's still a little sick. He's in high spirits, but we're dealing with just the fact that we can't get him seen healthcare wise in this damn city.
Yeah, that's almost criminal. Justin, is your cat really going to take over the world? Because it's looking that way. I'm surprised she's not like hovering over you, getting ready to
Give it time. Give it time.
swipe
Give
at
it
you
time.
with the paw of death.
He's underneath the desk, just staring at me. So I'm just waiting. He figured out how to turn on my lights.
I love that. I love that.
With the remote the other day.
My uncle had
And
a cat who could flush the toilet after.
I was sitting there and I shut because I usually just use my phone because I never use the remote because you know how the LED remotes are for those damn things are stupid. Well, I had the remote on the table. The dude was over there just batting it around, and all of a sudden the lights came on. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
And Ross, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was really good. As I was saying before, my mom and sister and her 3 boys came to visit. They're all under 5. They got along great with my kiddo, and it made for a very loud, chaotic, but satisfying holiday.
Yeah, actually,
Somehow
I
he still
love
has sanity.
Thanksgivings like that.
Justin, my sanity left me a very long time ago, and what you see now is just a veneer cultivated after many years trying to put forward a seemingly normal facade.
Oh, there's nothing normal about this group.
No?
Nope.
Look at us.
Not even a little
I'm
bit.
the most normal one here.
That is so not true.
That is such
Are
a
you-
lie.
Are you
That
wearing?
is such a lie, Jason.
Are you wearing your proton pack?
No,
Hey,
he's not.
It's hard to wear in a seat like this, but
Yeah, I would think so. Actually, does it make all the sounds? Because the sounds are the best part of the proton pack.
Oh, see now you got to extend his proton pack, and the camera immediately follows him. Oh my god, his camera.
Oh, is he using? Are you using an
He's
iPad?
using the AI tracker.
He's using some
Camera.
sort of tracker.
Look at this.
What are you using for it?
He's got
My,
it,
my iPad does that. It tracks you. There we go.
and yet we have this shot of you.
what was
I
that?
can show you. I can show you my butt. He
We don't
said-
need to crash the internet, Carlos.
I mean, he just put his headphones back on, and that's the first thing he hears. I can show you my butt.
Oh, whoa.
And Severe Face is used to me saying things like that.
I mean, he's had the pleasure of being with Carlos in person, so there ain't no telling how he gets.
And stretching time. I've got more room now that I finally cleaned up this place. Nice part about Thanksgiving, it actually gave me motivation to pick things up. That and the wife's insistence.
I need to get music for Ross when he does this, and just start playing it in the background.
See,
Like
this is where Richard Simmons stuff would come in handy.
Exactly.
I was just thinking
Keep
that.
working.
Work it. Lift it. 1, 2, 3.
You're doing
good.
so amazing right now.
I'm told this is my Yes Daddy sweater.
Oh my god. I'm done.
I officially have no comment on that, but unofficially,
What the fuck?
I think Ross is showing us his butt.
I think we broke Jason.
If you guys insist, I could turn around next time I do these stretches. I know someone was looking forward to seeing some side boob this evening.
Greg.
Yeah, I saw that and I cringed a little bit. I mean, it depends on whose we're talking about, I guess.
As long as it's not mine, we don't need to. We can get a DMCA strike.
DMCA is for using copyrighted
And my boobs are protected. Thank you.
Who owns your boobs, Justin?
I
Who did you
do.
sell your boobs to?
Justin owns his boobs. They're
Exactly.
NFTs.
But then who would DMCA strike your boobs?
Me.
Why would you DMCA your own show?
Because
So
nobody
he
needs to
can-
see these.
So he can literally demonetize his own video and then collect all of the YouTube ad revenue. Obviously.
Obviously.
I mean, technically, legally, he could sue himself, but go for it.
Oh my god, he has a cat.
Yeah, this is Leia's cat, Venom.
Oh my goodness.
Like
I had
that was actually one of the weird shortcut things that some YouTubers were talking about doing to get all of their ad revenue instead of the Google split. Is that they literally go to someone to create a song for them that they will own the copyright to, then give it to a group that's notorious for copyright claiming music or copyright striking on YouTube for music. And then because it's your video, you play as much of that song as possible. And then when that company comes in and strikes it and takes all the ad revenue, that revenue still goes to you.
Clever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's all automated.
There's actually, there's really legitimately nothing they can do about it.
Well, it'd be one of the only ways for them to pull their heads out of their butts and actually rework the system so it works a bit better.
See, it all comes back to the butt.
So yeah, aside from the mashed potatoes trying to kill me this year, Thanksgiving was a little bit weird this year.
Weird? Weirder
Yeah.
than murderous mashed potatoes?
Justin, pull that image up so Carlos can see. If you still have it.
Is that a burn?
Yeah.
Not
Mashed
the
potato-
burn.
Yeah, mashed potatoes did that.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they started to explode in the pan, and I'm like, I've got to get it off the heat. It burns.
It burns. That's what they say.
But yeah, no. Dressing this year was replaced with beef consomme rice,
Really?
and instead of like some of the normal like oily and greasy stuff that I would normally have, like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and stuff, I had squash casserole. So I yeah. So after going to the doctor the past couple of months, my stomach has gotten really, really sensitive to like oils and grease and fat, and it doesn't take like Ross. Remember how I was sick for weeks and weeks and weeks on end? Yeah, apparently that was just literally normal Southern cooking. Not even, we're not even talking about like deep frying shit or anything. It's like just mashed potatoes and stuff with butter and stuff in it, and it was just sending my stomach over the edge, and it was just ruining me. So yeah, I kind of had to change my diet. So this was a weird Thanksgiving.
Yes, Thanksgiving was really, really good.
Yeah, I have to say it was a satisfying Thanksgiving.
It wasn't too bad. It was minus the 45-minute fire alarm, but other than that, yeah.
Is that the one that you posted?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw
It
that.
better be a satisfying Thanksgiving for $50 and $60 hams and turkeys.
Oh my god! That's why this year I went and I got a pork loin, and it was a peppered pork loin.
Oh wow!
Got it cooked up in the oven, put honey barbecue sauce on it, wrapped it up, let it simmer, let it tenderize. Oh my god, it was delicious.
I love a good pork loin.
I mean, all the turkeys and hams, like everything that was left was like $20, and up, and I'm like, no.
See, it's funny. See, okay, there's a dark side to Thanksgiving in this area. So we actually went shopping for a turkey maybe a week ago, and we went to 4 different stores, all sold out of turkeys. We come to find out that several people went around the entire city buying the pallets of turkeys. And
Probably restaurants.
no, it wasn't restaurants. It's people just like, oh, we'd like to donate. They started posting on the community page for the city. Oh, we'd like to donate this to families in need, this and that. I'm like, I'm not a family in need, but we wanted to just buy a turkey.
We're a
But you
family in
assholes-
need of a turkey.
Yeah. And we like, there are people like, oh my God, God bless you. And I'm like, no, you went and bought 500 turkeys basically. And there's 500 people now. Like, where the hell am I going to get a turkey? It's like, so it was just the dark side of that was like, and then yesterday of all days, I saw nothing but posts on this page. Oh, I have extra turkeys. Who needs them? I'm like, who the hell's going to cook a 15-pound bird in 2 hours? Like, seriously.
Well, I mean, people actually do it on like New Year's Day and whatnot.
No,
You know,
that's fine. But it's like, they're like, oh, I have 2 turkeys. I don't need one. And why the hell did you get 2 turkeys?
Are they defrosted? Because if they're defrosted, I could see doing it. But
If they're
Yeah.
so frozen, it can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to
Yeah,
eat all
thought,
the things.
right.
yeah.
I mean, I cooked turkey for 10 years in restaurants, and I was not I am done cooking turkeys. Once you
My,
shove your hand up enough turkeys, you end up just
Oh my God, Ross.
wanting nothing
You
to
see
do
your chat?
anymore.
I love that joke.
Defrosted.
God.
Nice one, Akali. Nice one. So my general contractor gave everybody a turkey.
That's so meta.
Jesus.
No,
no, that's very
it's
traditional.
Turner Construction.
So
That's my general contractor.
I liked your joke, Justin.
I
So-
know, I know.
okay, so you know how I said that this Thanksgiving was weird? It wasn't just weird because of me changing my diet and how I eat stuff. My primary care physician's wife gave my mother a turkey and a ham for Thanksgiving. And it's like, do I write a thank you note to my own doctor for the ham and the bird? What?
Your next doctor's appointment, you just say thank you for that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you know, my mom's a nurse, so she's got connections with a bunch of people around the hospital and stuff. But it's like, still, that's my primary care physician's wife, and I'm thankful for the smoked meats because they guys, these were Corky's barbecue smoked ham and turkey. Like, holy shit, they were really good. But like, god damn, like, it's my own doctor. Like, for Christ's sakes.
Well, back at the place I used to work for, we used to have a doctor that we would do something like 25, 30 turkeys for. He would have us cook them, and he would just give them out to different, clients and employees and everything else like that. So yeah, it was yeah, they definitely do it. But yeah, the prices this year on stuff, though, my God,
That's
it was
consequences.
outrageous.
COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta buy tires here soon, and
That's
those
not
have
bad.
gone up significantly too.
yeah, they have. I mean, the tires went up, everything got up. It's just amazing just how much, and they're only giving us a 5.9% increase, I guess, for cost of living allotment for those of us that are on disability. So that's like barely nothing considering how much things have actually went up. But I guess it's better than nothing. It's just, okay, my normal grocery bill before everything decided to go ass end up, like I could just get something like a week. We'll break it down to a week. What used to cost me $40 is now costing me almost $70, and that's going generic. We used to have a Save-A-Lot here where we actually buy groceries, and it was cheap, and that's gone. And like all the discount grocery stores, you got all these, but even they're expensive. So it's like you're really stuck between whatever you can get, and you're lucky if there's anything even in stock. There's
So-
much what.
There's
Go
a
ahead.
service I heard about a while ago that sells the ugly fruits and vegetables, the ones
Mhm.
that don't look like the ones in the
Yeah,
Oh, I've heard of
in the
that. Yeah.
marketing. Yeah, it's still
They're
good. It
Playmates.
just
They
doesn't
look-
look good.
Yeah, but they're good. Yeah, it's like a banana that's all black spotted. No, it's a good banana. It just does because
Well, no, it's like malformed potatoes and
Oh, God.
weird-looking peppers and
and like double
non-eatable
tomatoes.
carrots.
So here's the thing.
Misfits Market.
The one vegetable that people will still buy no matter how it looks because they all look deformed in the first place is fucking sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Sweet potato casserole is one of my favorite things of Thanksgiving.
I got cheated this year in that
Uh-oh.
I thought that he had made mashed potatoes, and so of course I put a ton of mashed potatoes on my plate, only to
They were
discover
mashed sweet potatoes.
they were mashed sweet potatoes, and I don't like sweet
At least-
potatoes.
At least they weren't mashed cauliflower, Carlos.
I actually would prefer the mashed cauliflower
You know,
to the mashed
I-
sweet potatoes.
I love the hell out of riced cauliflower, but don't give me any of that risotto or mixed stuff. For some ungodly reason, that shit smells horrible
Really?
making it. I don't know why.
Well, it was too late to do anything but eat them, but I did put a
Mhm.
lot of gravy on top, which helped.
A wild Silas has entered the room.
So
I was gonna say
speaking-
back to what Ross was saying about cars. Mercedes, there was an article published that Mercedes-Benz, GM, and I believe Ford are doing something that's a little unprecedented. It makes sense, but they're doing it because of what the chip shortage. So of course they're still not able to build new cars because of the chip shortage. So what they're doing now is they're actually making every single new car they want to make. They're putting it together completely. So that when the chips come in, they're just going to throw the chip in and then put the
Yep.
car in the lot.
Or they could go back to making cars the way they used to make them without microchips.
Yeah, that's
Can't
not
do
gonna
that
happen.
though.
The
You can't do that with the. Then you need carburetors and not
Yeah, everything depends on the chip.
fuel
now.
injection.
the computer is what regulates the engine, and computer circuits still controlled engines. They just used to be a lot bigger.
See, we have a Linux factory out here. You know, the central heating and air people, and they do that. They've done that for years at this point. If they're missing a part, they'll continue making the air conditioners, and then when that part comes in, they'll take the air conditioners back into the shop and finish them.
It's
Yeah, with
probably
that-
happening.
Yeah.
Probably happening a lot lately with all the shortages. Because even with computers, it's hard to get certain parts for computer builds just by themselves right now.
Well, what's going to happen is once the chips hit the market, and those vehicles hit the market, the bottom's going to follow the market.
Mm.
You mean because
What
it's
was
all flooding it all at once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who was it? There was that article mentioned that what Jason just said. I forgot if it was. I think it was GM. They're trying to get an exclusive deal with Qualcomm to prevent something like that. So when they make their cars, they're going to try to not let that happen, at least to their cars. So they're trying to actually corner Qualcomm into making only making chips for GM vehicles.
Yeah, it's not going to. I don't see that happening though, because like
Federal regulators won't allow it. I don't think, but
Well, why would the federal
I mean,
regulators?
it's not even that. It's that it's literally that all of those vehicles require the same kind of chip. Period.
right. It's like the exact same chip, and they're all like 15-year-old chips or 20-year-old chips, which is what's really crazy.
I think my favorite thing of all this car talk have you guys seen the Hyundai Grand? I think it's Grandeur. Okay, so Hyundai has been on this kick of trying to make retro cars, but with a electric vehicle hybrid.
oh yeah, I've seen that.
The Grandeur literally looks like an '80s Fed vehicle. It is
Oh,
beautiful, and I fucking want one.
On the other end of that
It's
one,
it's a Fed box, and I want one.
It is
on the other end of that
gloriously
one,
retro.
has anyone seen the Jetson,
Of course.
the flying
Yeah.
car?
Yeah, yeah. I've
Oh,
seen
there's
the
someone that
video
is
of the Jetson.
basically a human-sized drone
Mm-hmm.
that they're putting into production, and apparently it's completely illegal.
I mean, honestly, it's literally the fucking hoverboat propeller on the bottom of a fucking drone thing for somebody
Yeah.
to sit in. That's
Pretty
all
much.
it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much a human-sized drone.
They need to hurry up with those human-sized drones and
Well, I mean, they're
You
going to
want your flying
something.
car, goddammit. We're in the 21st century.
I know.
Back
I
to the
mean,
Future
come on.
lied
Promise
to us.
me a
Well, I
flying
mean, they're
car.
going to do something about the planes because you'll be able to mow somebody down. You can almost see the road rage stuff going on now. Someone mowing someone down with their car.
Oh, speaking of computers, I finally decided to sit down and watch Terminator: Dark Fate. It was not terrible. It was better than Genesis for sure.
It was
but
better than
wasn't terrible.
Genesis.
Yeah, it was okay. I wasn't exactly the greatest, but yeah, it was all right. I need to do Matrix rewatch with Matrix 4 coming up.
Yep, just a few weeks away, a couple weeks.
We had an interesting discussion about that in the group chat. I wouldn't mind
yes.
revisiting that right now.
You guys getting all philosophical and shit.
Well,
I
it's
mean-
the Matrix. Aside from the epic fight scenes, it's a movie all about philosophical discussion.
Yeah, it is. In fact, the second one especially. The second was a little mind-blowing from that perspective.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this is like everybody hates the second movie, and it's like, do you guys not understand philosophy at all? Shit.
Yeah. No, I love the second movie actually.
I love that movie.
For that reason. But
It
I
really
think,
made you think.
yeah, it broke my brain a little bit. But,
Normal people hate
The
to
problem
think.
is choice.
apparently. But then all of that went out the window with the third one. The third one was just
Third one,
Was
Carl
the
Harvey.
third one
Bang,
filmed
bang,
at the
bang.
same time?
back to
back.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember they made a big deal about that too at the time. Because one of the few movies that had actually done that.
Yeah, Lord of the
Well,
Rings.
it was what Lord of the
next.
Lord of the Rings and Matrix were like the first
Back
if
and
you will,
back.
the 21st.
Yeah.
Back
Now
to
it's
the Future
becoming
2 and 3
wild.
were filmed.
Lord of the Rings,
They were?
Matrix,
I
and
didn't know that.
Twilight.
Yes, Back
So-
to Future
Yeah.
2 and 3 were filmed back to back.
That's
you know
awesome.
The green code in the
Yes.
Matrix. That those are actually sushi recipes from
Yes.
from the cookbook of the wife of the production designer.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just like the code that Michael
Why am I
showed
not
Stamets
surprised?
in the second episode or third episode of Discovery was Windows code.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
Oh god.
Speaking
So,
of Discovery,
Yeah. Speaking of discovery, should we get going?
Yeah, it says. I mean, I've been trying to do that for the past 20 minutes, but you guys keep jumping fucking topics.
Well, that's the point of this episode. We're chilling out and
That's
talking
right.
about
It's
whatever comes up.
Casual
So
Friday.
yeah,
We're casually.
All right, so
getting
about
into-
Discovery, let's see. It was
I am
where-
so
where-
looking forward to seeing what you're going to be complaining about this week.
It was the
Greg.
best of episodes. It was the worst of episodes.
and we gotta shut up, Leslie.
well,
We did
how
give a
about
shut up.
we lead with our resident hater?
Do we have
Yeah,
to?
let's do. Greg, why don't you start us off?
okay. So hold on. All right.
Ross, do you want to do the recap?
Nah.
Okay. We're casual.
I do like that Saru is back.
Stuff happened.
I will say that I do
More
like that Saru is back. One of my gripes is him being not demoted, but he's like, I'm gonna be a first officer. It's like, God damn it, sir, you were just offered your own command. But I get
He
see,
should
here's-
be in command of the Voyager.
he should be. No, here's the thing though. Carlos was talking
That
about
would actually be a really interesting
Okay.
twist.
Look,
It
look,
would.
I think that Voyager is going to be the new Discovery at the end of all this because
Talked about that
Discovery's.
last week,
You
Justin.
said that
Discovery's
last
got-
week, and we poo-pooed that already.
yeah. That's
Well, I mean, Discovery's got to go back in time somehow or go be lost in a
doesn't.
nebula.
Lock it down,
Short
for
treks
sure.
are supposed to happen. Yeah, so
okay,
Yeah.
okay, Justin. Okay,
So if
Simmer down.
Saru gets command of any ship, I want to see him command in command of the Angelo. I want him to see the fly. I want to see him flying the Park Donut ship.
I want to hear Ensign Beardface's opinion about Saru being a captain again.
Well, let's let Greg finish first.
Oh, right. Of course. Well, we'll come. Yeah, let's come back to you because I know how you feel about.
We're informal, but we still got to let people say their entire piece.
Indeed, have at it, Greg.
Saru back is great. My gripe was him being like demoted, not really, but to first officer because he's still the captain. He's not demoted in rank. But I was just like, no, why would you do that to yourself, Saru? She's got Reese, she's got Detmer, she's got all these capable officers to be her first officer. Tilly, make Tilly your XO again. Or she was Saru's XO. But it was great to see Saru come back. I like that his Kelpian badge, not a badge, but like that he's a community leader, basically. Like that's kind of like what Worf had with his.
I think it was honored elder or something.
Was it honored elder? Something like that.
Honored elder, community leader.
Yeah, he's a member of the Kelpian Council.
Yes,
a badge representing unity.
So
right.
He's also a member of the 900-year-old club. So honored elder indeed.
The Mile High Club.
So a few of my gripes. The binary black hole. That was one of my gripes from a physics standpoint. Now, technically, a binary black hole is possible, but they would incinerate each other. Whichever one was bigger would be the one that would basically eat the other one. And what would happen is that either they destroy each other or they split apart immediately to form their own galaxies, depending on the size. So this whole binary black hole thing that's just 5 light years wide, wiping out whatever it wants to, suggests A, sentience, so they're making it sound like it's alive, and B, I'm like, okay, timeout. Depending what's going on here, 5 light years is really, really fucking huge. But in the scope of the galaxy, 5 light years is a dot.
But it's still bigger than a star system.
Yes, very much so, bigger than the star system. But it
would literally engulf exactly how they showed it being that big. I mean, look at how big V'ger was.
V'ger was originally 80 or so AU, and they downed that to, and the director's cut to 2 AU. And Sun mentioned earlier that it's better to be menacing at 80 AU. That's fine, but 80 AU is still considerably smaller than a light year.
80 AU is the size of the cloud, and then it was condensed down to
a satellite.
Yeah.
But so my gripe was like that. So I'm wrapping my head around the physics of it, and I almost started doing the math. Like I was that mad at it.
The original theatrical release was 82 AU in diameter. In dialogue from Epsilon 6, the measurement is equivalent to a lot of light years. 0.0001 light year. Okay, there you go.
So that was one of my main gripes with it. Overall, the show started out pretty strong, and Tilly giving us the "Shut up, Wesley" was the best moment of the episode. You know, telling Adira, "Shut up, do your job, and stop being so crazy about it." I'm like, okay, cool. So Adira finally got told, "Shut up, Wesley." And I like that Hugh didn't snap at Tilly. He was just like, "Yeah, you did it to yourself, Adira." So Adira got put in her place. But going back to Hugh with Sam, my another gripe is Stamets making the airlock joke. I'm like, yeah, that was way too soon. Yes, there's still some tension, but they're basically
they did acknowledge it was too soon. I mean, they did acknowledge it.
They're slapping us in the face though that this whole thing was Stamets. They're not going to address. I think they're going to try to play it as a joke again. I'm like, dude, no. I'm like,
I mean, I don't know that necessarily they've written it off completely, and I hope they don't. I totally agree with you that, and we I think talked about this a bit last week too. But it's a wasted opportunity, and I hope they don't just drop it.
And which brings me to my thing of the tension between Stamets and Book. I'm like, so Stamets' ego is hurt because someone else can operate the spore drive, but you're playing a joke, the fact that Burnham gave a command decision, a good one, but you're going to crack a joke with that, but you're going to be pissed at Book just because he can operate the spore drive? It's like, that's what it boiled down to. Him and Book basically like Book acknowledged, like, dude, you're just hurt because I can work the spore drive.
No, but
It's
that
like-
wasn't. But they continued on and they said it's that you saved my family. Like it was.
Yeah.
It was like
yeah, he's also hurt that he
did-
couldn't save his family. Right.
right. Like he
It's
felt
like-
impotent. Like he was the one who was supposed to be able to save his family and he couldn't do it. And Book did, and he didn't know how to bridge that gulf.
Right. And it's like, okay, I get that. So you weren't able to save your family, but someone did. And in that kind of scenario, just say thank you. It's like, yeah, I get you wanted to save your family. Who
Well,
doesn't?
I don't think he doesn't feel gratitude, but it's amplifying his own insecurities, and people do that all the time.
He's married
real
to
men
a
do that.
psychiatrist.
But I don't see that as a contradiction. I mean, any more contradictory than any kind of human emotions. Human psychology is full of contradictions, and to me, this is a classic example of one. I don't think it's unrealistic or unbelievable.
To a degree, sure. It's just that to be mad at him for the spore drive, like Jason said, they dive deeper into it and that he couldn't save his family. It's like, okay, if you couldn't save your family.
He's not actually mad at him. He's projecting his own insecurities onto him. That's
right,
different.
which can still be construed as anger, which is how Book was taking it.
Well, sure, that's
So-
how it manifests, but that's not really what's going on.
Well, and my next point is going to ask you guys. I will stand by this. Book should not have been in that ship. Book should not have been piloting the ship. It should have been Detmer. Book was not mentally ready, and it proved that. Now, yes, because of Discovery and the writing, not bad. I'm not saying bad. Just saying because of writing and the way the show's supposed to go, Book flew the ship, saved the day, got Stamets' hologram out of there with all the data it needed. Book should not have been on that ship. He was not.
Well, that's your
mentally ready for
opinion,
that.
right? I mean, the whole point of that scene was it was a command decision that Burnham had to weigh the pros and cons, and
And there was a conflict of interest in that because she's basically putting her partner.
well,
it's
right.
like-
But what do you do in the face of that if you're a captain? You can't recuse yourself. You still have to. You're the captain.
Saru was there.
Yeah,
And,
but that's not
Saru,
the point, dude.
what did Saru do?
He deferred to her judgment, which
That's
is I'm
right.
like,
But what else did he do? He talked about the pros and the cons. He made a recommendation, but left it to the captain to make a decision.
That's why captain's job is so hard, because yes, there are sometimes you're going to be forced to make decisions. I mean, that was kind of the point of the previous episode. You're going to be forced to make decisions that aren't fair for you to have to make, but you have to because there's no one else who can. You're the one.
And you can't let your feelings get in the way.
and she let her feelings get in the way because she let Book plead his case.
No, she didn't, because he was the best one to do it.
Right? I mean, if she had her way, he wouldn't have gone. Like
Right.
as
And she didn't
as,
want him to go.
as her partner, she wasn't going to let him go. As the captain, that's when she decided to let him go.
Mhm.
And and that was a gamble, right? I think that's the question. As a captain, there was that question of whether he was emotionally equipped to do it. But then they also have to weigh the fact that like whether or not he was going to do it anyway. And this plays into my going back to Carlos talking to me about Saru. This goes back directly to my criticism of Saru, is not being wise and not understanding your officers and not understanding the people under your command and not understanding what motivates them. And by undercutting Burnham last season, he wound up putting her in a position where she had to basically disobey him. And so Burnham was kind of put in the same situation here, and where, Book was going to go anyway. It wasn't like whether or not it wasn't her decision to make, because it's not a Federation ship. It's not a Starfleet ship. And he's not under her command, right? He's going to do whatever he wants to do anyway. And she cannot legally or have any authority to stop him. Right. And so it doesn't matter if whether or not he should be on the ship or not. Right. I mean, like that's the reality of the situation. If he's going to go, he's going to go. All she can do is create this situation where it's most recoverable. That's what she did. She tether, put the Stamets hollow on, and hopefully, cross fingers, his mental fragility holds together.
So
There's
there.
one other thing you said, Greg, that I want to touch on, and that was about the binary stars. It wasn't our binary black holes.
Black holes, yeah.
it isn't a binary black hole, though.
Exactly. It wasn't. That's not what it turned out to be.
Right.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
That's what
But
they're
I
calling
do
it right
think
now.
you're on the money, Greg, about it being sentient. I think they
Although
hinted at
they
it
said that
broadly
at the
in
end.
episode 1,
They
and
hinted
then
at
in
it.
episode 2 they didn't say it, but they're about this
They're
far
leaning
away from
towards
coming
it.
out and saying that.
I'm pardon me for jumping ahead, but I'm really leaning into my idea that this thing is something, if not from the mycelial realm, but something trying to break in or to breach reality. This is something not from our plane of existence trying to push its way through or interact.
So like that what was it in Star Trek in the Next Generation, that 2D plane of life that was that took the ship when Deanna lost her powers. Is that what you're suggesting? Something like that?
Yes, but in the sense that this anomaly is the Enterprise colliding with the 2D plane.
It would suggest that it is sentient because, as Tilly said, it moved away after
It
Discovery.
changed course.
It's
changed course.
utterly unpredictable.
Yeah.
And it's like that. To me, that means it can decide where it goes. It's not just random. It can decide.
Well, when Discovery probed it and sent Book Ship in, it looked at them. It faced them. It reacted to them.
Right.
That's why I said feature 2.0.
Anyway,
Well, I mean,
but-
in that sense, in the sense that it's like V'ger in that it's a huge sentient,
Cloud.
cloud / object. Yeah, but it's
You
not.
guys are going to love it
V'ger.
when we get to my notes, huh?
Well, let's hear from
looking
you
forward to
next.
them. Yeah.
But one thing I would say about the V'ger thing is that at the end, when we backed out from the anomaly, and it had that V'ger-esque shape to it.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking. I was like, well, I mean, because the only reason why
You mean a cloud?
V'ger is at the back of my head. The only reason why
There are other
V'ger is
clouds
at the back of my
besides
head.
V'ger.
We never found out what happened to Eileen and Decker. We never found
said
out.
that already last week.
Greg,
Huh?
continue with your notes, please. Thank you.
okay. And so I'm pretty much sure we're all gonna be it's sentient, and that they're like, oh, it's utterly unpredictable. There's always a pattern. They're gonna now. What's gonna happen is they're like, oh, it's unpredictable. I'm gonna say episode 5. Like, oh, we found a pattern. Like, okay, really? I think.
Well, but it'll be a pattern of behavior,
Yes.
not a pattern, not a physical pattern.
But it's just and I mean, overall, I am glad of positive notes. I'm glad Saru's back. I honestly think since he turned down the Sojourner, I think it would be cool if he takes over Voyager, make him captain of Voyager.
If he survives.
Oh god damn it, Justin! Justin's on this kill Saru train right now.
He's been wanting to kill everybody, hasn't he?
Just Saru.
You went last
Just
week. You were
Saru.
like, and this person should die, and that person should die, and this other person should die.
Hey, it's Discovery. Eventually it will stick. Book will be my next target, probably by the end of the season.
Oh, good God.
Anyway, and I just was like, I don't know why. When Saru was walking with Tilly, why was she so awkward? It's like you served together. It's like I just was like she made it so awkward with Saru, and he's like, He said, I missed you too. It's like, why is that awkward? You guys are like closer than most anybody on the ship because of what you guys went through.
Except they kind of got into it last season.
They did, but
Plus,
it's like,
the fact is, she's still feeling guilty about losing the ship to Osira. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, that's going to come into play later on this season too. I've heard that more than once.
okay, hold on. Before we go to the sun, just you know what you heard? You also heard that Robert Beltran was an Olive prodigy. He hasn't been in a single episode, so your knowledge means nothing.
That we know of. We still don't know what the robot is. We don't know. We don't.
Oh dear.
I think I'm with Greg on this one. That's a stretch, Justin.
Stretches to turn out sometimes.
Greg, overall though, did you overall like the episode?
The premise is great. Like as far as what they did, like so what they needed to do to go in there to figure it out made total sense. I like the tethering idea.
I love that the tether dissolved into programmable matter.
Yes.
Yeah, that
When
was
it
good.
attached it. That was a really nice
some of the
touch.
and see that's what irked me. Some of the comments like, how is this possible? I'm like, it's the 32nd century, guys. There's a lot of advancement here. Did anybody notice that? I know you guys saw it last week, but when Discovery went to black alert, and did the jump, Discovery didn't spin, but Space did. Did anybody catch that? If you go back and watch Discovery do its jump, the space around it spins versus Discovery, because every time we see Discovery jump, she spins and then disappears. This time around, space spun around Discovery and then she popped away.
Which one? Where was that one in this episode?
At the very beginning, where they go to black alert and they jump to the anomaly.
Yeah, because instead of the camera panning out and watching the ship go, where the camera staying on the ship as it spins.
Right. So it's like
that's why when you see the space tent. Yeah.
Right.
It's a cool effect.
I did. They brought the rocks back, so when the Discovery Bridge is blowing up, there's rocks everywhere. So shout out to
not to mention something I noticed, like they put flame poppers in the light fixtures.
You guys, we talked about this last week already.
Yes.
Well,
it's just a thing that Star Trek has and Star Trek does.
Yeah. Welcome to Hollywood.
Way back into TOS. Purists love to talk about how things are divergent. Well, this is something that is concrete and stays the same for hundreds.
on the bridge.
No, it's not concrete. It's styrofoam. Get it right.
Exactly.
And cardboard. And rocks.
Greg, any
Paper
other
mache.
thoughts?
I mean, the premise of this season is turning out to be really great. The dilithium last season was a really good premise of what happened there. Only that was a letdown as to why. I hope this doesn't have the similar letdown that this keeps going. That if it is a sentient form of life, okay, now what do you do? So we'll see what happens it's got to be a life form. You can't tease it and then tell us it's not a life form. So we'll see what happens. Jesus, if it's V'ger, I'm gonna riot.
I actually like, Ross, your idea about it being like mycelial revenge.
That'd be interesting.
The only question I would ask about that is, why would it start out where it did? Like,
my first thought was something from the mycelial realm trying to break through.
Right.
Because Discovery is always related to the mycelial realm in some way in its stories.
But this anomaly appeared somewhere Discovery had never been before.
Right.
Actually, no. Wait a minute. Discovery did jump to Quazon.
Which is why I amended it by saying something extra dimensional. Not necessarily mycelial. It could also be subspace. It could be something else entirely.
Yeah, they get like Ross is saying, they're trying to break into the plane, so they just gonna pick
Ross.
This is the Enterprise slamming into that 2D.
Right.
Because look what Discovery was jumping on a regular basis. They made contact with the serial network. They disappear for X amount of thousands of years and magically reappear in the future. Well, what if that particular generation of mycelial is no longer around and they don't know what's going on? Well, they see Discovery jumping through their network again and they think it's another attack.
Maybe.
I know what it is. From Voyager, when they're caught in that distorted space in Chakotay's boxing, it's that.
Where's the eject button?
It could be the Solanae breaking through again. The clickers?
I mean, they did reference Picard, which, okay, now I was kind of against bringing Gray back and what they were going to do. But again, it hit me. 32nd century. So putting Gray in a body the way they did with Picard, and that's how they referenced it. And I'm like, okay, I can accept that.
In a hyper advanced Soong type body.
Yes.
What if
I love that. And Gray's like, wait, am I gonna be like immortal? No. You'll age and die. And I will say this though. I don't know if Gray will be able to be a host, but Gray can be a guardian. I don't know how, and I don't say host. I only say host because of the body, but he can definitely be a guardian.
No, but the since the synths are organic, right? So like
Mostly, yeah.
So like the idea that so yeah, I think there's still the question of whether or not like it would be like Trill and be because
A rejection, maybe, yeah.
yeah, but I mean the whereas what's her name? Not
Adira?
not Adira, not Adira.
Soji?
Going back to Picard.
Soji?
So
What's that?
Soji.
Soji, yeah, Soji and Daj were organic, but what's her name? The ice stabby one.
Yes.
She was not. Yeah.
She was a later generation. I think she was still.
I think she was
an
an earlier
organic
generation.
synth, but she was an earlier model.
I thought, earlier, right?
Oh, stabby.
What else you got, Greg?
I'm good there. Just yeah. Goddamn stabby.
Stabby. Memories of Baz. That's our stabby Australian friend. All right, thank you, Greg. Son, how about you?
Okay, so you know how I said we'd come to where I was this week at the appropriate time.
Uh-oh.
You have the information I require to complete my mission.
God damn it.
Nice. Flight of the Navigator.
Compliance.
Yes.
Compliance.
So this episode
Justin, are you okay?
This episode is just it's kind of all over the place, which is why I had to take notes. It's something I noticed last episode, but I didn't really get to say anything about it. Tilly's actress has put on a little weight, but my God, it actually looks good on her.
I agree.
And to those assholes who keep bitching, you can suck it. We're not going to have another.
Let me
finish. Let me finish because there's a joke in it. Damn it! We're not going to have another Carrie Fisher on cocaine to lose weight thing here.
Agreed. No, and actually, one of the things I was happy to see, because I noticed that as well, I was happy to see that they actually, in costuming her, they make her look very sleek. The costumer did a fantastic job in
They make everybody look sleek, like
in tailoring for her.
They definitely accentuated her curves. That's the good thing.
Yeah, the costume department is really
on point.
Really doing a good job.
Yeah.
A post I saw on Twitter, I think it was last week, saying that or did we talk about it during the show? How the old uniforms were
baggy,
stiff, but or looked flowy, but were stiff for the actors. But these new uniforms are much more comfortable, kind of like the transition between TNG 3 and 4.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost it's almost like they're actually using algae now or something.
Oh. Yeah, it's like the ones last season. We're like, yeah, we'll just throw them on them right now, but we'll work on it during off time, and these look a lot better, I think.
So during the council meeting, someone mentions that the databases, quote unquote, they have access to. So some of the records of the phenomenon that may have existed in the galaxy, they might not have access to. It could be missing for the Federation and a majority of the galaxy, or at least the people who were there for the meeting. Which brings me to my next point. The initial look at the anomaly reminds me of the graviton ellipse from Voyager, an accretion cloud of gas and dust and large amounts of dark matter surrounding a gravity well. The graviton ellipse was chasing dark matter when it sucked in the Mars mission thing in Voyager. And the black guy was recording like all of it. The commander was recording all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what it reminded me of upon them starting to talk about it.
It was
very illustrative.
Well, And you got to remember, the Chakotay at one point called it the kitchen sink anomaly because it was absorbing all this junk, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, then we get into the conflict of Book offering his ship to go in and scan the anomaly, and Burnham starts questioning Booker with the same arguments the Federation president was making at her, just from a completely different angle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to wonder, does she even realize she's making those exact same arguments?
Well, they're slightly different, though, because the Federation president was basically saying that what Burnham was suffering from was a pathological need to save everybody, which is an ongoing, deep-seated, permanent sort of state of being for her. Whereas with Book, this is traumatic. It is linked to a very specific recent event. So they're really not the same.
They're not the same in how they get going, but they are the same in the fact that they are completely reckless choices being questioned.
Well, yes, in that sense, they're the same. I mean, the effects are the same, but how you would deal with them would be, because if it's someone, each one would be treated differently, just because they have different root causes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might see Burnham talking with Dr. Culver at some point this week.
I like that he's becoming the counselor.
Well, he is. He
like
does have a
almost
degree in
officially.
psychology.
That scene with Tilly at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a good role for him because he seems to fit it well.
Plus, he's not the chief medical officer.
No, he's not.
We don't even know who the fucking chief medical officer of Discovery is, you guys.
It's the lady.
No,
So
she's not the CMO. She's
I have
another
this.
doctor.
I have this in my notes later on down the thing. So we got a lot of information in the body scene about it being a Soong type android, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was successful transfer being terribly low. And I have to wonder if some inspiration for this explanation actually came out of something from somebody in the staff, maybe playing EVE Online, because how that game works is you basically have a clone body that you can basically keep making yourself into if you die. But the only way it works is if you're dying. That's when your body can transfer consciousness. And that's basically what we saw in the finale of Picard, season 1.
Yeah.
He was dying, and that's when the consciousness was successfully transferred. Other than that, Culver mentions, the success rate was so damn low, they just all finally gave up. And I'm wondering if nobody stood there and thought, well, do we
It'll
do this
probably
while
come
people are
up.
dying? Another thing that I saw, and I have to mention this: no, for the love of God, do not let anyone tell you that this scene has any importance on representing sexual reassignment. This is strictly repeating Picard season 1's end. For the love of God, don't do that to me. Period. I refuse to have that fucking argument.
I'm curious, when they transfer Gray's body over to his new body, is Adira going to lose all of Gray's memories and thoughts, like how when Jadzia
Yeah, I wonder that too.
But she
When
doesn't
Curzon-
have. Sorry,
She
but
has
she
the same
doesn't have. But she doesn't have those memories.
Yeah.
the symbiote, the tall symbiote, it went from Gray
Yeah,
to her.
but they haven't made it clear that she is able to access Gray's specific part of the symbiote's memories.
Yeah, because if
When
you
they-
remember last season, whenever Gray disappeared for a minute, the deer was like, the only way I can talk to, I can only talk to him. She couldn't feel the presence at all.
If you've been paying attention to the way she talks about Gray, or the way they talk about Gray, Adira constantly says that everything that Adira does is from their memories of Gray, not Gray's memories.
Okay.
So Gray, at this point, is kind of like a completely independent thing stuck in Dax.
Okay. I gotta say, it was really weird when Culber was talking about transfers and he's a Starfleet admiral, someone named Picard, and I thought, wait a minute, Picard's a hero. Why doesn't he know about? Oh, right, he was serving before Picard was born.
Right.
Yeah,
I had to
that
remind
and
myself.
some of the purists like, how does he not know Picard? Because he's not from that timeline.
Yeah.
Because they skipped that part.
They skipped that part. Plus, as far as we know, Picard and Starfleet parted on less than amicable terms. So it's not
yes, but
he's
his
still with-
service record is still one of the most exemplary.
well, yeah, but it's
in
still not
Starfleet.
like they're going to make as huge a deal as if he was still,
Which we don't
in
know
their
how,
places.
cute, timey-wimey, extra-dimensional things is going to mess everything up after this. So it might undo some of those events.
There are legends of Starfleet whose names go on. Kirk being one of them. Pike. Apparently, Giorgio is up there too. And Picard's going to be one of them. So if this was anybody else, I think there would be a bit more fanfare there.
So the Stamets joke about airlocks. See, this is where I have to disagree with Greg. Kind of proves that Stamets had to have gone through some kind of therapy between the seasons. Especially considering his husband is a therapist.
But can I ask a question about this? I mean, like anyone get like a biting sense from the joke? Like it wasn't like
It wasn't a funny joke.
It wasn't a
there
funny
was-
joke.
there was
no,
undertones
it was-
there.
Yes, there
like-
were undertones.
Like
See,
and
this
so like
is-
last. Oh,
See,
go ahead.
Stamets is not one for. Stamets does humor when he doesn't intend to do humor. When he intends to do humor, it always falls flat. At least for me.
True. I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
So when
but it
he
was-
made this joke, it did feel like he was trying to diffuse the situation. But the fact that he felt that there was a situation means, yeah, there's definitely some animosity still there. But like he's had to have gone through some kind of therapy, at least to be able to talk with Book as openly as he did there in Book's cockpit.
Yeah. Well, we know it's been 5 months since the end of season 3.
Yeah,
so-
I was gonna say 5 months.
I mean, I thought it felt a little bitchy to me. Just a little touch bitchy.
Yeah, Burnham's wow was not a wow that was funny. That was a wow. Are you fucking kidding me?
So I mean, like
by the
there's
way,
a-
I looked it up, and Discovery's chief medical officer has yet to be named.
Hugh is there. Why not just make it Hugh?
Because he is the ship's counselor.
He's not the ship's counselor. He is a doctor who happens.
He's a doctor.
Yes.
He's also
playing
listed as the
dual
ship's
rolling right now.
That's
He can double as the ship's counselor, but he is a medical doctor.
He is a medical doctor, but he's also listed on the cast list as the ship's counselor.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but he could still be.
That's
CFO.
what
Well,
that's
good.
what
That's great.
IMDb is for.
And a much better one than Deanna Troy ever was, unfortunately.
Well, that's because
Well, he hasn't flown a ship yet,
Whoa,
so
Ross,
we
fighting
won't-
words, fighting words.
he hasn't flown a ship yet.
Hey,
The
They
question
made,
is,
they
is
made
better
up for
than
that.
Esri
They
Dax?
made up for that in Picard when she went all counselor over Picard's ass.
true. And the only reason she took the helm is because the ship was already in trouble. And she's
That's
filling
right.
in for a helmsman who
was
died.
So Book enters the cloud with holographic Stamets. So this is where I said you guys would be interested by my notes.
Mhm.
Book isn't hallucinating because he's emotionally unstable. These are pieces of his planet that are broadcasting to the last, projecting whatever empathic link Booker has as if he was still on the planet. And it makes me think that this anomaly is seeking out psychic or empathic sources as a means of communication.
Well,
I'll buy that if they discover another planet was taken on that fashion. Like if there's another.
yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah.
no,
Unfortunately,
I
we
mean,
have
this
we
is
have a
one of those
sample
wait
of
and
one.
sees thing.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
What, Ross?
Navarre.
Oh, shit.
You're right. That would be Navarre. Although they're technically not empathic, but
They're telepathic.
But they're
Yeah,
which is
Vulcans and
different.
Romulans have
Beta Z.
telepathic
Beta
capability.
Z.
That would be
Beta
bad.
Z.
That would be very bad.
And
Beta
taking out Navarre would be, if it's 5 light years wide, taking out Navarre, then be taking out Alpha Centauri and quite
Probably
probably
right.
Yeah, 5 light years is huge. Like
Yeah.
Earth.
our I looked at our solar system is only 0.03 light years across.
And 5 light years across would be big enough to take out
anomaly is
Vulcan,
5
Earth, and or all the core.
Yes,
the
Jeff.
anomaly is 5 light years, but are the gravity waves it's projecting that bit large as well?
Oh yeah, we
That's
don't know.
true.
We don't know that.
But, okay,
and my
so-
guess is probably not.
Yeah, because Discovery was able to sit there right on its
Yeah,
horizon.
right just out. So they had an event horizon, so that means
Yeah.
it was
And they
prescribed.
were taking these gravity waves that were damaging the ship that much.
So, while arguing with Stamets,
Wow.
Book says he's alone, but he's literally not. He literally just stowed his cat away before they left. Speaking of, how fucked up is Grudge right now? On fire, exploded, frazzled as fuck.
It probably has a safety
'Cause
box.
he did not walk 10 feet to secure the cat.
I think that Grudge is a flirkin.
With a thyroid condition.
Hey, Ross,
Yes,
posture check.
I was doing my posture. Thank you very much. He's probably got one of those Honor Harrington like secure boxes for Grudge that keeps her safe and sealed, and it has a environmental system to keep her
Just-
alive long enough to be recovered.
Just get her a Samsonite.
It's probably like one of those security fields that just encompasses Grudge and all that.
For as long as he was away, that's probably what it was.
So
Just a
this
box.
is where I agree with Greg. I don't know.
Oh
what
my
the hell
god.
I don't know what the hell they did with Tilly. Tilly starts asking for professional therapy from Colbert, and God,
You
this
should
is such
drink
a
first,
cringy
Russ.
fucking scene.
And wait, say that again, son. What about it?
So Tilly asks Colbert for professional therapy, right?
Right.
Yes.
This is such a cringy fucking scene. It just feels wrong all over. I mean, it starts out nice with the I don't know, something feels wrong, and then it just turns into complete. You didn't have to do that. I thought we'd started fixing this, Tilly. You didn't have to turn into that weirdo again.
What can I say? It's Tilly.
That's true.
Guess who redeemed Sing Mode?
And
I don't know. I think in most cases, people asking for psychiatric help, it always comes across as awkward.
At least she's asking, but yes, it does
Exactly,
come
and I
across
think that's
awkward.
the point, Greg. That she is learning from these people whom she respects and looks up to
Mhm.
around her, who really need psychiatric help and don't get it. She's like, I'm not going to make that mistake. As cringy as it's going to make me sound. to ask.
Sing mode.
I'm
So,
waiting my turn, Justin. Just because it's Sing Mode doesn't mean I get to interrupt everyone.
So, speaking of, like you all just had this conversation. Is Colbert the chief medical officer yet?
No,
He sure as hell keeps getting treated like he is.
he does, but he's not.
He is
That's
the
just
senior
because he's
medical
a title
officer.
character.
He is a senior medical officer, but he is not the chief medical officer.
Well,
So-
right, and he's not even necessarily the most senior one,
Mhm.
apart from the. I think
He
Pollard
was the
is more senior
CMO
than
before
him.
he was killed.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't?
He
Nope.
wasn't.
No,
I
remember
thought he
he
was.
actually
That's my
specifically
mistake.
made a reference to having to go assist the CMO with an Andorian tonsillectomy,
Yes.
and that person was not Pollard. So there is another doctor somewhere on that
Somewhere.
ship we've never seen who is the CMO.
Just like we've never seen the chief engineer.
Engineer. That's right.
Which isn't Stamets. But
So-
I was about to say something.
And it isn't
Stamets
Jet
is now the
Reno.
chief engineer.
So we get all the fancy Discovery stuff, and Book makes it back to Discovery. The hallucinations are gone, even though Booker says he's seeing this kid.
I think you may be onto something there, son. I think that the visions he's having of the kid are more than just
Mm-hmm.
hallucinations.
Because we never see the kid turn around and look at him either.
That's right. So he's running away.
So the biggest thing is zooming out at the end. The profile of this anomaly, definitely looks like the gravitational ellipse from One Small Step, the Voyager episode. But but like the wave, how it's like copied out and out and out as it zooms out. I swear to God, every time I watch it, I keep thinking of the Flight of the Navigator ship in a profile. Even though it looks nothing like the Flight of the Navigator ship.
They have a similar contour.
Yeah.
I like to point out. I know it's a TV show, but when they're zooming out of the anomaly,
It kind of looks like a walnut.
God damn it, Carlos.
Also a similar contour.
but when
Yeah.
when they're zooming out of the anomaly, the only thing that gets me is like, I know it's a TV show now. This is special effects. I was like, okay, there goes a sun, a planet. I get okay. So, but
It also
they
looks like an
bypass
eye, you guys. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like
The
an
eye
eye,
of Chiron.
an eyelid and a pupil.
So Sauron's in space.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it definitely, the profile of it definitely reminds me of the Graviton Ellipse. Now, the Graviton Ellipse kind of looked like this sun-looking thing, being orange and yellow and stuff. And this just feels like a more spacey kind of black hole gravitational anomaly version of that. Especially, and I mean, what especially piqued my interest is when they said dark matter, and I'm like, I mean, this reminds me of the thing from Voyager.
You're right. It does look very much like it. Different color, but it's definitely the same shape. And
But then again, most things that
causes gravimetric interference.
But then again, most things in space and existence are spherical. Just throwing it out there.
Well, but this is more than a sphere. It's more than spherical. It bulges out at the.
The anomaly itself is a sphere, but the auroras that surround it are somewhat tapered. I'm glad you're getting so much enjoyment out of this.
We all live for your voice, Ross.
We live for sing mode.
And
Well,
I love to play around with it. See what
Well,
I
as
did
long as
there?
you don't play around with something else on stream.
I can't do that because it will get me banned.
Exactly. All right,
But-
so that's my notes for the episode.
Unless I'm on Pictaro, then anything goes.
Or camo.
Side boob.
There we go.
I have
It's
no boobs
happened.
to display the sides of.
Did it even have a 5-inch foot long?
It's 6.
So
and-
how about that Discovery episode?
Spangler over here is getting antsy.
That's right.
So
Who's next, Ross?
next?
Is it?
I'll be quick because everyone's pretty much already just talked about the same points. No need to repeat them over and over again, like repeating the host. It's minus Greg, quiet Greg. It was a good episode. It was all around. We're all questioning what this anomaly is. I really think I was thinking along the lines of feature, but I think Ross has an idea with the mycelium. I wonder if they're going to discover a pattern whenever they go back and look at things, saying the thing is going where Discovery has jumped to since they have been in the future.
Well, remember the whole thing about the mycelial network, as it was originally explained back in season 1, was that you can use it to traverse not only space but also time.
And
So-
alternates time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I was thinking, because one of the first places they jumped to in the future was Quazon.
yeah, that's
What
true.
was one of the first after Earth? I think it was the only other place that they jumped to. Well, I mean,
No,
where
they
did
went
it?
to Earth, then they went to was it Earth, then Navarre
went to
the
Earth.
Trill, or was it Earth Trill then Navarre?
It was
Earth, Twirl,
Earth,
Navarre,
yeah.
Quazon.
Navarre was almost last. Yeah.
Yeah, but
They
I mean,
didn't warp to Navarre because Navarre isn't that far from Earth.
yeah, they warped because of
Yeah,
the.
that was by warp.
I think.
So they
Yeah,
only
because they
jumped
didn't want
twice.
to jump into. They didn't want. They jumped near Navarre, but they warped the rest of the way because they don't want to just drop into the system
That's right. That's right.
unannounced
Yeah,
because it's just warp drive.
yeah, because it's not far away by warp.
Yeah. Anyways, it gets like that. But where do you normally appear? Near Quazon. So I'm wondering if they're going to put that together, if that could be a possibility. Ross might have something. It might be better than my feature. I still think I'm still calling for feature, but I'm liking your idea more and more. We'll have to see what happens. All right, Jason, you're chomping at the bits. You go.
Let's hear it.
Am I? Oh. Anyway, I'm just gonna say this. Hold on, let me just see here.
Oh God.
Just to throw that up.
Did you really?
The anomaly, V'ger. The anomaly,
Thank you.
V'ger. That's all
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
say.
Christ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Carlos, you're muted.
Thank you.
You can do the same thing with the gravitational ellipse that I could put it back. It's the same shape.
I'm just saying.
What?
That's all. That's all.
What if it's? Yeah. That's
Um,
just great.
One.
Okay, can we do a quick roundtable vote? I'm just really curious. How many of you would be in favor? Like if it turned out to be V'ger, thumbs up or thumbs down? I know where you stand on this, Justin.
I mean, if it was done good.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not saying V'ger as it was, but I mean, we don't ever found out what happened to Ilea and Decker.
They ascended to a new plane of existence.
Of
And
where
existence
when.
is
Using
now
with
trying
an
to break
ultimate
through.
intelligence.
And it's now trying to come back.
V'ger, that entire colossal ship and everything on board evaporated.
That's right.
They didn't
But
sail
what
off
happened?
into the sunset. The ship dissolved into nothingness.
Not into nothing. There was something left at the core, but most of it dissolved.
And it
And then-
dissipated
and
and,
then-
disappeared.
Well, it disappeared. That's different from dissipating.
Yes. They went
We don't know
somewhere
where
else
or
They went
when.
somewhere else.
and became something else, something
Yeah.
mind-bogglingly incomprehensible, something
And now
grand
trying
on a
to come
scale
back.
that we cannot yet imagine.
And it's
That's
trying
what
to come
happened
back.
to Decker,
Two-
Ilea, and V'ger.
Almost like two black holes, like circling each other, but not.
This is why I like
I
you,
would say
Jason.
that while I don't like the idea up front, I am with Ensign Beardface in that if they do it right,
Right.
it could be really cool. But they'd have to.
Well,
do
as
it
long as
right.
it's not a screaming kid and it's
Yeah,
causing a world-ending event. I mean, they can't do that again, right?
I mean, they could. You know, like I mean, look at the Flash. The last 2 seasons. Dun, dun.
Ooh.
We don't talk about the Flash anymore.
So I mean, I think that so. I like the episode. I thought it was better. I thought it was again better than last week's episode. I like where they're going with the characterization. It alleviates some of the concerns you guys had about like Burnham just in the Stamets thing. I thought that like I thought that joke was kind of cutting, and like it kind of you kind of felt a little like, ooh, like there's still some friction there, and I mean, even the Culver like dealt with it later, like yeah, like maybe that wasn't right. I liked Tilly kind of dressing down Adira and then realizing that like it's probably because she saw a lot of herself in Adira, and I like the psychology of it, and I like, what I really like about this, what I like about Discovery more than I like about, really any of the other Star Trek series that have come before, is that they really do a lot with the characters and the relationships between the characters, more so than any other Star Trek series, where like this really is like a family. And
I will agree with you, except for DS9, which did do that as well.
DS9 did it. Yeah.
DS9 did that.
They did, but I don't think they did it. I don't think they did it as to what we're seeing.
It doesn't seem as pronounced in DS9 because they were doing 24 episodes a year, whereas we're getting 10, 12.
So we're kind of getting the rush version of it.
So yeah, so you're seeing things brushed up a bit, I think.
Yeah. And then I liked the flip between Book and Burnham, whereas last season typically Book was the Burnham stability, whereas this episode Burnham was Book stability. So I liked to see that flip, and I like seeing some of the emotional maturity from Burnham in this episode, and I think some of that was basically spurred on by that discussion with her conversation with the president last week. So I thought that was really insightful. I thought that was really good. Overall, I think this season, is really going the right direction, and I'm looking forward to the next, to the rest of it. I mean, again, I hope that they don't Su'Kal the end.
Please God, no.
Please do not.
I mean, I think Su'Kal was a good ending for last season. I think it fit that storyline. I just hope they don't do that again this year.
Please no. Please no.
But those
All
are my
right,
thoughts.
cool. Good discussion.
And we're all still here. Yay!
We're all still here.
Well, I mean, we haven't heard Ross's thoughts though, have we?
I've been kind of sprinkling things in and out throughout the whole discussion. I don't really have anything new to add. I agreed with a little bit from just about everybody except Justin.
Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, Justin, you're the new Greg.
See, Justin, that's what happens when you crack too many Lucifer jokes.
And too many buffet jokes, mister.
Well, we all know you love him. Andrew Blake Smith says so.
The one thing that disturbed me about this episode?
What's that?
We got far less Ferengi than I wanted.
We got one shot of a horrified Ferengi.
We got one shot of multi.
Yeah, we got the one shot that we've seen over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
At least they didn't cling on the Ferengi. He still looks like a Ferengi.
At least it wasn't a Ferengi.
I mean,
side
he
boob.
literally looks like a Klingon at this point.
No,
he looks like a Ferengi and a Klingon got together.
I love how Discovery just throws in a legacy alien.
Yeah.
Almost for the sake of just pissing off all the fans.
I don't think they're doing it to piss off fans. They're doing it because they have the money to do it. And think about it. Look back at those prosthetics that were used for those Ferengi. I mean, they're dated. They're clunky. They look like rubber. I mean, they don't look like organic material. I mean, they had to put some money into
that. Was the best part though, because that was the funniest shit about Pell in Deep Space Nine is that they were fucking the same fucking rubber ears. She was just putting them on to look like a man.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, you don't go out and hire Neville Page and Glenn Hetrick to recreate 30-year-old prosthetics.
Exactly.
Right? Like
it's yeah. Go ahead.
And
sorry.
anyone who thinks that is off their rocker. Anyone who wants that is off their rocker. You don't go out and hire like the best in creature makeup, and that's what they've done. I mean, these guys are like some of the best in creature creation in Hollywood right now, and they went and they got them. And so, like, rather than being like, "Hey, we got some of the best in the industry," no, people are bitching about, "Oh, the Klingons don't look like Klingons." They look alien. They look way better. You're right. They don't look like cheap shit. You're right.
Okay, see the Ferengi still looks like a Ferengi. The Morn, I forgot what Morn species is called. Morn still looks Morn. The Andorians still look like Andorians. The Klingons are the only species where they fucked up that design 6 ways to Sunday.
I
where they
disagree.
don't-
I disagree.
You can disagree all you want, but that doesn't mean I'm right or you're right. They fucked up the Klingons, but then why do the
Well, I
Andorians
mean,
still look-
fans
hold on.
said
Okay,
the same
first of all-
thing.
hold on,
You wait.
First of all, it's an opinion. You're right. It's an opinion to say that it was fucked up just because you don't like it. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with it in the sense of how you envision an alien species, particularly one that you really want to depict as being truly alien to humans.
Okay, but then why do the Andorians still look like the Andorians from TOS?
They don't. You haven't
don't.
seen the people online who've been complaining about how the Andorians don't look like Andorians.
They
don't,
do,
that their
but just with
antenna
more
are too
pronounced
stiff.
forehead.
They're not moving around. They've got those little brows.
They could have
that
made them move
stick
around.
out.
They could have done the moving around part.
And you haven't seen the people bitch about the Ferengi because
Yes, I have.
the eye because the ears don't connect to the
The ears
eyebrow.
are drooping too low, or they're
They're
You know,
bitching
the
about
thing-
the
you know what
Ferengi
this
even
is?
back in.
What this
Or
is,
the
and I'm not
Tellarites.
accusing you of this, Greg. I'm just talking about people in general who think that Klingons have to look a certain way or that Ferengi have to look a certain way. It's like it's kind of racist in the sense. I mean, look at the different morphology of human beings on this planet. Okay, we look on one continent very, very differently than what we look like on another continent. Same
Look.
species, different colors, different shapes of ears, heads, noses, butts. It always comes back to butts. But my point being that the morphology, even within one species, it has a huge range, and that's just here on one planet.
I mean, look
you know,
look at the
and to say-
Klingons
and to
from
assume
TOS to
that it should
TNG.
be the same way for that all individuals of a certain species should look the same way when even our own species doesn't do that is ridiculous.
But my thing is, I'm saying is like
forgetting-
when you put the Andorian from Discovery next to Shran from Enterprise, you could say that okay, yeah, they both are Andorians. That there's a difference, but you can tell right away they're both Andorian. You take a Klingon from Disco and put a Klingon from TNG, you're like, what the fuck is this Disco thing?
I can
I'm
see
saying
it.
that they don't
You
have to
didn't
look
see it
like-
immediately.
I can see it.
Justin, hold on. The thing is, when I see a Klingon from TNG, yes, and it's not supposed to look the same. I know you got these monster movie makeup people, but not supposed to look the exact same, but have a similarity. Like I said, I can still tell it's a Ferengi.
It has a similarity.
What?
If you take off the hair, they look very different. And they didn't
I mean,
wear
if
hair.
you look at Klingons from the original series in TNG
Yes,
or the
yes.
original series
I
in
was
the
about
motion
to
picture,
say. I was about to say.
the original series in the motion picture,
Justin,
the Romulans.
Justin.
No. It's the
We
same
were-
goddamn thing, Greg.
Cool
It's
down,
the
guys.
same
Cool down. Take it
goddamn
down. Take
thing.
it
Same goddamn
down.
thing.
You're at
Justin.
an 8. Let's take it to a 5.
You just want to
All of
hate
us-
on it.
5.
All of us
guys.
were alive in the 60s like you were when we saw this as a kid.
It's fucking not goddamn Google. Go fucking look it up.
You're back at an 8. Bring it down to a comma
In
5.
fucking Google, go look at fucking up the original series. The Klingons had smooth fucking forehead. You're looking at fucking waste of fucking dick pic just because you want to bitch about
Well,
it.
they
It's
addressed
no
it.
big
Greg
fucking
isn't
deal.
trying to bitch. He just has a certain vision. And
So
it
I
just
think
doesn't comport with that.
okay, so we're all missing one of the most glaringly obvious points in all of this bullshit about whatever the hell a Ferengi is supposed to look like. And that is 900 fucking years of evolution.
900 years is nothing in evolutionary terms.
Yeah, no,
Sure, but
Nothing.
you also have 900 years of possible crossbreeding.
Well,
Look at the Federation president.
I thought she was a Nobulan, but she's Bajoran Cardassian.
she's Bajoran Cardassian, which
I
makes
thought
sense.
maybe it was a Bajoran Kardashian / nobody.
Take a
No.
look at the guy that they pulled out of the not TARDIS from Enterprise. He was crossbred between 6 different seasons or
That's right.
species.
We don't
right.
talk about the not TARDIS.
The not TARDIS.
You mean the Turbolift TARDIS?
Let's move away from Star Trek a bit. Let's talk some headlines that I'm seeing around. So, some sad news in the world of entertainment. Stephen Sondheim, composer of
sad.
Sweeney Todd and many other musicals, passed
West
away.
Side
at the
Story, Sunday
West
in the
Side
Park with
Story.
George,
91 years old.
91.
And
How's
another
your
bit of sad news for those who follow fan film history from Hidden Frontier, David Dial passed away.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was just announced a few hours ago. I posted it in chat.
Well, I was out until I got
Yeah, I
home.
didn't even know he was sick.
I
haven't
did not
heard
know
from
that
him in
either.
ages.
That is sad. I knew David very well.
Yeah,
That
well,
is,
like besides you, he was the only other person I really have kept in contact with from those days. Oh my God, that seems so long ago.
It was a long time ago. That's
Yeah.
really sad. David was not a great actor, but he was a great presence on that show, and when I became a producer on that show, I actually dialed back his character quite a bit, just because he wasn't a strong actor. But he put his heart and soul into that character of Captain Nap, Admiral Nap, whatever.
He was one of the very few people who was stuck with it,
the
throughout
whole
the
way through.
entire thing.
And
Yeah.
ultimately, we ended up sort of re-expanding his role, just because, he just brought an earnestness and a sense of hard work to and a great work ethic to that role that I didn't feel like I felt it was perfectly justifiable to give him back a bigger role in the series after we sort of, if you pardon the expression, dialed him back a bit. Starting
Dial back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was
I'm really
also
sorry
one
to
of
hear
the
that.
people-
He was a great guy.
Yeah, because he was always, one of the ones that just wanted to get everybody back together for another one. But, he knew it wasn't going to happen because I guess Rob's been kind of off the radar for everybody for a bit.
Well, he sold off everything.
Yeah.
There was nothing left to make anything from. You would have to start literally from scratch.
Yeah.
So, well, rest in peace, David Dial. I'm sorry to hear that.
And Stephen Sondheim.
And Stephen Sondheim, who, this is ironic because I don't know if you guys have seen the new musical on Netflix that's based on the life of Jonathan Larson, who created Rent. It's called Tick, Tick, Boom. And Andrew Garfield.
I've seen previews.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense now.
And he actually, Jonathan Larson, it's very autobiographical. It's on Netflix. It's really worth watching. I actually saw it on Broadway probably about almost 20 years ago, I think, with what's his name from New Kids on the Block was playing the Jonathan Larson role. Anyway, Stephen Sondheim was a huge influence on Jonathan Larson. And at the point where Jonathan Larson was ready to give up, obviously this was before Rent, he was ready to give up and just not create it, go forward with any creating of musicals. Stephen Sondheim left him a voicemail that basically encouraged him. He said, "Good work, and keep at it, and I want to help you." And it changed everything for him. And in fact, I noticed that Bradley Whitford from LA Law plays Stephen Sondheim in Tick, Tick, Boom on Netflix. But the voicemail that they played was actually Stephen Sondheim's original voicemail that Jonathan Larson kept. Because if you listen to the voice, it's not Bradley Whitford's voice. And if I recall correctly, I think that in the show, the Broadway version of it, they played the voicemail there as well, Stephen Sondheim's voicemail. And so literally this happened less than a week after this Tick, Tick, Boom premiered. And then Stephen Sondheim passed away. It's
Damn.
Really ironic. It happens like within the same week. But anyway, I would normally save this until what are we watching, but I will say now, since we're talking about it, it's worth watching Tick, Tick, Boom, because it's a pretty good little little musical that I thought was actually I thought had been sort of lost to the winds of time. Because, like, again, I saw it 20 years ago on Broadway. And the fact that it was brought back to life, and it's getting amazing reviews. Lin-Manuel Miranda directed it, and he's got this one scene that's got this one great song that he has, like, almost every living legend of Broadway makes a cameo in that scene. Bernadette Peters is in it. Bebe Neuwirth is in it. Chita Rivera is in it. People I don't even know of, but I know are famous, are in it. 3 of the original cast members from Rent are in it, and it's a really great scene. Anyway, I highly recommend it.
Very cool. HBO Max accidentally uploaded a censored version of Birds of Prey.
Yes.
And they are finally getting around to releasing the uncensored version to HBO Max.
That's such a weird... Do you think that was by accident? Like, I mean, it's HBO
Probably.
Max, you know? I mean
it was the broadcast cable version of Birds of Prey. So super censored, probably.
Like, why?
It was probably an accident. They probably were just like, they just put it like, hey, let's go upload it. Oh, shit, I uploaded the wrong one.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably what happened, even though it's completely irresponsible. But they're supposed to have things to keep that from happening.
It does happen, though. I mean, occasionally Twitch channels accidentally broadcast porn.
Well, that's true, but that's Twitch, which is all amateur. I mean, this is Warner Brothers, HBO. They're about as professional as they come.
Yes, but humans make mistakes, and mistakes happen a lot.
I mean, it's been known to happen. I don't think it's quite happened on something like that yet.
At least it wasn't the reverse, and they aired the film version to cable. And
now that's happened.
That would have been.
Yeah,
that's happened. That's happened
by the FCC.
You can air the film version on cable because cable isn't falling to the FCC. You can't do the film version on broadcast.
Yeah, it's broadcast. That would be
it's the broadcast cable. Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like
the Daily Bugle has a TikTok.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, that's the MCU Daily Bugle. So the Alex Jones, J. Jonah Jameson has a TikTok.
Wow!
In preparation for No Way Home. So that's gotta be fun.
Soon to be the highest grossing Marvel movie in history behind Endgame.
I am very much looking forward to it.
But
I
haven't seen all the new previews that have come out the last few days.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, Peter, and Doc Ock in the same place. You know a Peter Parker that's Spider-Man. Yes. Is this him? No.
But at least we know. At least now we know how they're gonna fix Peter's problem of like the identity issue.
Do we?
Yeah.
Just
there's gonna be 2 other Spider-Men. Just have them stand in for him in front of a camera.
But I don't know if that's as obvious as you think it is, because
No Way Home isn't going to give us the reveal we want. All 3 J. Jonah Jamesons meeting.
Isn't there only one? Who else has played J. Jonah?
That's
Jameson?
the joke.
That's the joke.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
We technically don't see J. Jonah Jameson in Garfield Spider-Man movies, but just imagine all 3 cross over and then
no, that'd be world ending. We can't do that.
Talk about crossing.
This is kind of.
Don't cross the streams.
don't cross the Jamesons.
Dune is returning to IMAX as it approaches 100 million at the domestic box office,
which would be a drop in the bucket in normal times, but apparently these days it's like a huge success.
Yeah, well I mean, considering like
the films have been doing in the COVID era.
COVID era is reset the box office basically. So yeah, I guess that's a thing.
It makes me wonder, how long it will really take to bounce back.
Like there's still a lot of theaters that aren't open because they're not staffed or whatnot. So there's a lot of places that are not even open still. So
I don't know. I think Decepticon is going to wind up killing more. It's going to wind up killing Spider-Man. I mean Omicron, not Decepticon.
Kirby has been
Bad.
nominated for a Grammy Award.
Kubi?
Wait,
Kirby,
Kirby.
the pink video
the
game
actual
character.
video game character.
Oh,
Yes.
Why?
oh.
Why are we
When
giving
did-
video game characters awards now?
Wait. When did Kirby sing? First of all,
In the Kirby the Forgotten Land announcement trailer.
Oh, dear.
Why?
wait, what?
let-
It was been nominated for that?
Yeah, let me. This
my
is from
God.
IGN. Much like how he sucks up enemies, you could argue Kirby also sucks at singing. Kirby's singing is usually so bad that all of the on-screen enemies are destroyed when he belts out a piercingly high note with the mic ability. But now, the pink puffball has got a shot at winning a Grammy Award, even if the nomination is only indirectly related to Kirby himself. Under the category of Best Arrangement, Instrumental, or A Cappella, on the full list of Grammy nominees, Meta Knight's Revenge from Kirby Superstar is one of the nominated tunes. This Grammy-nominated arrangement was written by Charlie Rosen and Jake Silverman, and was performed by the 8-bit big band featuring Button Masher. It's a
good God.
fat and
Okay.
funky version, that's PHAT, of the tune that originally appeared in 1996's Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo.
So
Video game
so
nominations
that-
are a rare occurrence at the Grammys. Back in 2012, Austin Wintory's soundtrack for Journey became the first video game soundtrack to receive a Grammy nomination in the Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media category. The award ended up going to A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, and the rules were changed so that it would never happen again.
So they go and
So
snub they go and snub John Baptiste and the Grammys without a nomination, but they give Pink Puffball a Grammy nomination.
so
wait a
it's a
minute.
fat.
This is only on a technicality that they're nominating a video game score simply because it is a known YouTube musical group that performed it.
So it's fat like Carlos, not fat. Okay, got it.
Oh, apparently,
PHAT Carlos, fat.
and slightly related notes, It Was Agatha All Along is also gotten a Grammy nomination.
Shut up.
Let me guess, for Best Original Song or something?
Nominated for Best Song Written for Visual Media.
Just kill us all now, Jason. Just do it all. Do it all.
Get the ghost.
Cross
Get
the
the
stream.
script ready. Thank you.
There's the proton pack I've been waiting for. You know, speaking of Agatha, the actress who plays Agatha
Catherine
is
Hahn.
is now on Apple TV's. What's the name of that show?
Foundation.
No, the one with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd. The Shrink Next Door.
Well,
She's in that.
you said Will Ferrell, and I had a shudder. I'm sorry. What?
He's actually pretty good in this.
That's surprising. I
Xbox-
keep meaning watch Foundation, by the way.
How many of us have been watching Foundation? I have. It's finished its first season last week.
I'm gonna have to catch it.
Xbox Virtual Museum features letter from when Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo.
Ooh.
We all know how that went.
The year
Yeah.
was 2000, and Nintendo laughed for 3 hours in that meeting.
And that's when Microsoft tried to say consoles were bad, and then they launched Xbox the next year.
Yep.
Because I remember that campaign. Microsoft was all consoles are bad. Computer gaming is good. And then Xbox was a thing.
Weta Workshop is breaking into video games.
That's not surprising at all, considering all the people they've hired.
True, but it's exciting news. I mean, these are the guys who did the visual effects for pretty much everything Peter Jackson's done in recent memory, but namely King Kong and Lord of the Rings.
Sure, but I mean, we're still talking about the Weta Workshop.
Well,
I
it's
find it
exciting for me.
fascinating. I found it exciting. That's yeah.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Is there something wrong with Weta that we're supposed to be concerned about?
Not that I know of. Son?
Huh? What?
I don't know. I have to look into it more. But I've had people talking about the stuff that we were talking about with Alec Baldwin and the abuse and stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
That was going on behind the scenes before he even shot anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have had people talking to me about that kind of same abusive work environment at Weta Workshop.
That's unfortunate if true.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate if true. I actually know someone who worked there. Some of you know him as well. Christian Gossett worked for I think a year in New Zealand. So I can ask him. But I will say this, and this is unfortunately true, is that that kind of treatment is all too common in the entertainment industry.
That is
all
sad.
too common. It's horrible. Because they're the kinds of jobs so many people want that they're willing to put up with abuse in order to get them. Because people want to make movies.
They worked
Mass
on
Effect-
Hercules and Xena.
Mm-hmm.
Mass Effect TV show reportedly in the works at Amazon.
Yawn.
Yawn.
I'm still waiting for the Netflix / Nintendo Legend of Zelda series. Thank you.
Do you think that's really
gonna be a
gonna
while.
translate well to?
Do I think that they're going to actually make it? No.
Remember, Ross Carlos is old, so the stuff like that's going to be new to him.
Well, yes, but the rest of you are gamers, and the rest of you have voiced excitement about Mass Effect in the past. So I was hoping reading this would elicit.
Well,
some
I mean,
kind of
video
reaction
game
That's right.
other than a
adaptations.
resounding.
Video adaptations have. I mean, they have to be done right, or you wind up with things worse than Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I think in general there are two kinds.
Super Mario
of-
Brothers is not a terrible film.
Yes,
It's
it
not
is.
terrible
great.
adaptation.
It's awful. I think there are two genres that just have not, in general, translated well into narrative feature films. One of them is video games. The other is anime. We're seeing that with Cowboy Bebop. Have you guys seen that?
I
Bebop's
actually
It's-
thought Cowboy Bebop was not. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terribly bad either.
I'm loving Bebop.
I've heard a lot of good things from people. Very, very
No,
few
I
bad,
haven't.
bad reviews.
I've seen a
What?
lot of bad reviews.
So I have some friends who are Japanese immigrants to the United States, and they're shitting on Cowboy Bebop. And it's like, wow.
The only complaint I've read and I've talked to my friends about, because like I have a bunch of anime friends, is that they just don't agree with John Cho being Spike because of his age. Cho turns 50 next year. Spike Spiegel is in his 30s. I'm like, well, when John Cho looks like
but
he's
John
still in his
Cho doesn't look like he's about to turn 50.
when John Cho still looks like he's in his 30s, let him play the role.
Agreed.
Speaking of video game adaptations, the majority of the cast list for the Halo TV series on Paramount Plus has been announced.
Wow.
Does that interest any of you?
Yes. Who's
See,
Master
see,
Chief?
this-
Dwayne
Depends
Johnson?
who's in it. Who is it?
Pablo Schreiber is the Master Chief. From The Wire, American Gods, Orange is the New Black.
Oh. I
Ooh.
think I know who that is now.
So I feel
Porn
like
stash.
I was going to say he's Porn Stash.
I feel like the only person
Oh.
on this panel, other than Carlos, who is qualified to say, I really don't care because I've never played either Halo or what was the other game?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. Like
Okay.
Was
I
it-
haven't played like the whole thing of Mass Effect.
Son, it's you and me together, baby.
Yeah.
When you're playing Halo, you're playing
Well-
as Master Chief, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So how do you watch a show about the character that you play?
That would be a challenge in adaptation.
They do it like they did
That's it.
Doom with Carl Urban.
No!
God
No!
damn it, Greg.
Like I think, I mean, I
Eject,
could see,
eject,
I could
eject.
see like,
right.
I
Well,
could see like an
let me-
adaptation of Zelda because you watch Zelda, you watch Link
Yes, you're third person,
move,
right?
right? You're third person. I think translating in, I think trying to translate that narrative from being the character to now watching that character as a person is just going to be really hard and really jarring for the people.
Hardcore Henry did it, and it wasn't terrible. But it's
Yeah,
one of the
but that was
Yeah, but that was supposed to be a parkour movie.
yeah.
true.
That you can't do that. You can't do another Hardcore Henry like that.
And to
that-
pick someone like Pornstache is like the most punchable face in the world.
Well,
you
you're
won't
not going to
see his
see his face. He's going to be in the armor the whole time.
Just like the
Master
Mandalorian,
Chief
you weren't
doesn't
supposed
take
to
off
see
the
his
armor.
face.
But in news that does give me a lot of hope, they're not changing actresses for Cortana. Jen Taylor is going to be in this series as Cortana.
Okay.
See,
Cool.
if I was going to do an adaptation of a first-person thing, especially when you have like an AI or something, that's how I do it. You can keep the voice actor, you can keep the video game's voice actor, and then shoot the film from the perspective of Cortana with the Master Chief, because she's always with him.
We've got Danny Sapani as Jacob Keyes. He was Ting T'Chaka in Civil War.
Okay.
And we also got a hydrated imposter check.
Well, I was doing the damn posture check. That's why I was doing this. And the bottle is empty. You guys have hydrated me enough.
You're sufficiently hydrated.
Olive Gray as his daughter Miranda.
That's a great name. A colorful name, one might say.
God damn it.
It doesn't tell me what she's been in as additionally. Charlie Murphy as Mackie. I'm not sure who that character. I'm not sure who most of these other characters are. Natasha McElhone as Dr. Catherine Halsey. Let me see. I got a page up and down to get to everybody. Californication. That's the only thing the article credits her as. But that's a pretty key role. A couple of Spartans, an admiral, another Spartan. Let's see. Yeren Ha, Jen Taylor, Natasha McElhone, Bokeem Woodbane, Sabana Azmi, Bentley Kalu, Natasha Kulzak, Kate Kennedy, and yeah, that's the entire list so far. Pretty interesting. Let's see, the first teaser for Bel Air is dropped. You guys care?
Will Smith narrating it. Yes.
Is he?
Hey, that's an answer for that.
So Will Smith narrated it as reading his song Fresh Prince with a couple of the lines, but it'll be interesting to see the take on it because this is just simply titled Bel Air.
So wait, is this like a reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air or something?
It is.
Yes, it is.
It's yes and no. Will Smith is he wanted to do a realistic take on this, so
Oh boy.
that's kind of what the direction he was heading. So I think he's doing like the 5-star performance.
I don't know. You guys might be surprised. He has become quite a producer lately.
Oh yeah.
Really?
He's got that new movie out, King Richard, which is based on Venus and Serena Williams and their father, and it is a nice piece of work. And that was a project that he really he stars in it, but it's been his project from the get-go, and I think he does a really good job on it.
Cool.
Well, this started as kind of like a what if, right? So,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Back in 2019, some people released a trail like, what if
Yes.
this was made today? And so that was kind of the genesis of the project.
That's what got Will Smith, because he saw that And he's like, I really want to do this. And people thought he was joking. Well, guess what? He's not.
Yeah, because I remember when that teaser came out, that was actually really, really good.
Yeah, it was just a fan teaser, though. That was just like, it was just made for the hell of it.
All right, here's a serious question for you guys. Have any of you heard of the film The Last Duel before this week?
Yes.
The Last
What?
Duel. Yeah.
Ridley Scott's film.
Yeah, I saw it. I went to see it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it pretty much. It seems like the kind of movie Hollywood doesn't really make anymore, but yeah, it was, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and
I hear a buck come.
Well,
No.
apparently it didn't do very well.
no, it did terribly, even though it got really good reviews. But
Yeah,
but it didn't do
it's-
well.
I hadn't even heard of it until this story broke. But apparently, the venerable Mr. Ridley Scott blames the box office failure of The Last Duel on those darn millennials and their dumbass phones.
I'll raise him this. No Country for Old Men won Best Picture, I believe, and that did terrible at the box office. But it was an amazing movie. The thing about The Last Duel is I would love to see it now. I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan. I'm gonna watch it. I love the premise it's about. But I said this in the chat. This is not the movie people are gonna go put $300 million domestically in the box office for. They're gonna go watch it maybe, but this is one you wait for to come out on streaming or to buy the DVD. You're not gonna flock to the theater for it.
Yeah,
But it's also-
unfortunately, it's targeted at a demographic that simply has not gone back to seeing films in theaters yet. They just haven't. It's an old demographic.
But it's also
and
a
that's
high-budget
problematic from the
movie.
get-go. Pardon?
It's also a
huge
high budget movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
But it's still, it's they should have known who it was going to appeal to. It's not going to appeal to millennials. It's going to appeal to an older demographic, and those people just are not back in movie theaters yet.
And it's the millennials' fault.
It's not the millennials'
Damn
fault.
It's not our
millennials killed The
fault.
Last Duel, just like they
That's
killed
like saying
everything
that
else.
because we didn't go see Barney that it's
Boomer.
our fault
The
that it
boomers.
failed.
Millennials killed Yonkers.
No, but
Millennials
what
are
he's
killing the napkin
what he's
industry.
what he's saying, and I don't think was it directly tied to millennials, or was he? Or he's okay. It was millennials.
Well,
okay.
his actual argument is saying that the culture of today doesn't fit what the kind of films that he's making. He thinks
right.
that
Yeah.
everything is he did blame the phones directly, saying that people only do the things the phone tells you to do. If it's not easily digestible, then it's not profitable or it's not interesting to people.
He's pulling a Martin Scorsese, where Scorsese's like, Marvel movies aren't cinema because they don't tell a story like The Departed. Ridley Scott's starting to sell that Scorsese. It's like, look, Marvel movies are cinema. It just so happens that because of flashy lights, flashy action, we want to go see it. But again, Scorsese is one of my favorite directors. I love The Departed. Just like Ridley Scott, but Ridley Scott did Alien. It's like, you did give us popcorn blockbuster action, and you want to do The Last Duel. That's great. I'm gonna see it, but it's just not the movie again. You're not gonna flock to it.
In other old actor news in this case, Kevin Spacey
Oh,
Yes.
now owes Netflix $31 million for being fired
From House of Cards.
because his actions were in violation of his contract. Because he reflected poorly on Netflix, he now owes them money.
Which actions?
Ooh.
What?
What did he
Which
do?
is why you never sign a contract in which, if you ever do anything, you will owe that company money.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. The behavior he was accused of, he engaged in years before he signed that contract.
So okay, yeah, that's what I'm not. So it's about with Anthony Rapp accusing him of rape.
Right.
Okay, see that's I'm not trying. Okay, this is gonna sound terrible. I'm not trying to do anything. I don't feel that they should go after him for that money. Like, okay, yes, the accusation came, and that takes the legal precedent. But I don't see how you force him to pay back for something he did 30 years ago. That's like coming back to an the case in the NFL where a coach was fired.
He
for
would
emails.
he would definitely be able to at least somewhat somewhat have a good God, like a court defense
Except
against such a
except his
contract violation.
except his
I think-
contract didn't have a
Except
provision.
what you guys aren't acknowledging is that many of the allegations made against him were made by crew members of House of Cards, which is very much in the present.
Right.
And
And
if they do include the past, then he's going to have that court ground. But if they do, where if how he treated Netflix crew, then he's going to owe them money.
but his contract with Netflix didn't permit court jurisdiction.
Right. It
only
was
provided for arbitration.
Yeah, and apparently it was an arbitration decision that was made like over a year ago.
With him in absentia.
Yep. He was probably filming one of his YouTube videos.
Oh, God.
We're going to do 2 more topics and then we're going to wrap it up for the night.
Sure.
Justin, this one's for you.
Come back, Justin.
Star Citizen, since 2012, has raised $400 million.
Holy shit.
And the game is still
and
not
still not
out.
done.
It's actually playable. I don't know why everyone keeps saying it's not out. It's playable. You can buy it. You can play it. And you can play
Does
content
not
in it.
mean
Playable
finish.
does not mean out.
But you go in and play missions, play content in it, which is a lot more than you can do with Elite Dangerous right now.
Playable does not mean finished.
But you can buy
Just
it.
look
You
at
can play
Anthem.
missions in it. What?
Just look at Anthem.
Yep. I mean, it's playable.
Playable does not mean finished.
Well,
I
you
mean-
play it a lot, Justin, from what
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yes.
I mean,
do
it's
you feel
playable.
like do you feel like you're getting your money's worth?
Well, I mean, you go, okay, look, you don't have to buy the ships with physical cash. I don't know where people actually get this.
Wait, is that Star Citizen equals Axonar? That's
No,
kind of where I'm
no.
heading with this. But
But
Go
there's actual con like Axonar. These people can actually produce stuff.
It's not even an alpha yet, and
It actually is an alpha. It actually is an alpha. It is in its alpha state. It's actually due in beta next year. If you follow any of the production logs
That's
behind the scenes, huh?
After 10 years.
Well, I mean, look at what's happening with Elite Dangerous right now. I mean, they were out before Star Citizen, and they're in such a state now
Let me-
because
let me-
they're
let me-
released.
Let me put it this way, Justin. The one space game that I cannot stop recommending that people play is Outer Wilds. That development studio, Mobius Games, took 10 years to make that game, and they never released some kind of early access bullshit for it.
Well, that was in and this is now.
They literally released the game within the last 2 years?
Yeah, but see, that was in and this is now. You can't just
was it
develop a game.
crowdfunded though? Was it crowdfunded?
Yes,
No.
it was.
Yeah.
okay. Justin, let me ask you this: is it $400 million worth of play?
I don't think that's a fair question.
It's
Why?
not
I
because
think
you
the
got.
question is for the amount that Justin is paying for it.
I've only
he
paid
having a nice
$45 ever.
No, I
ever.
think no, I
you
think
only
if it
be
is a fair.
you think you got to pay a large amount of money to actually play the game. You don't. I don't know where people get that retarded bullshit, but you don't. You just pay $45
And no
to
one
get a
had to
starter
give
pack.
No one had to give Alec Peters thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but
either.
unlike Axonar, there's stuff to do, stuff to play. There's content released. It's
Alec
not
puts out
just
content
stare
every
at a
night. Even
ship.
Alec put on content every
Yeah,
night.
but that's not I mean,
It's not
a
nearly the
game,
same.
He's playing it. He's enjoying it. I mean,
But is it 400?
It's playable.
Is it $400 million playable?
Okay, so $400 million. Let's look and see what's going on in development. They've developed an own unique engine for the game from the ground up.
But is it worth it? Like is it like the
They
whole
are
game is-
developing.
there's only
It's
one way
worth
to
it.
determine that, though.
It's play
worth
it
to
yourself.
Justin, and that's the important thing.
Yeah,
Play
and
yourself.
that's my point. That's my point. Is
If you're going
who are
to-
paying
don't
for it? Do they
Knock
feel
it
like
until you
it's worth
try
it?
it. Don't
But
knock it
that's-
until you try it.
But there's a sunk cost fallacy there, Carlos. Like, I mean, maybe not with Justin, who's only put in $45, but the people who who spent $40,000 or $50,000 to buy a ship.
And they actually get the people that spend that, what a lot of people choose to ignore is you actually get real life stuff whenever you buy these packs, and certain packs are open to people who spend large amounts of money in the game, and they get all types of access that normal people wouldn't. So I mean, they don't just take your money and be like, well, you're going to play whatever. People do actually do shit. Would I spend that type of money for a game? No. I spend in-game cash, and that's it.
All right. And the last topic for our headlines tonight before we wrap things up, Nintendo is joining Sony and Xbox in criticizing Blizzard.
I had a whole thing. You never even asked if I had the ActiList this week.
Well, because it's
Casual Friday.
I went out trying to do a 3-hour show tonight.
Yes,
Nintendo has officially joined Microsoft and Sony in issuing a statement that Activision Blizzard's behavior is both horrifying and unjustifiable. Honestly, though, reading the statement itself, reading all three statements, they feel like a convenient scapegoat given some of those developers' own histories with things like crunch and timeline demands from in-house studios and third parties. It's just a convenient way to go, hey, look, that thing's horrible, isn't it? While, I mean, we're talking about within the past 5 or so years, 5 to 10 years, that stuff like this has been going on at Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. Like crunch, like all this stuff that's been like crunch this, crunch that the past couple of years. We also got a deeper dive into the Wall Street Journal article for those of us who are literally not subscribed, meaning we can't read a single fucking thing from the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, we found out that that infamous Townsend condemnation letter, the one that's universally reviled. Yeah, we found out this week that Townsend didn't touch that paper. She didn't write a single piece of it. That entire thing was ghost written by Mr. Robert Kotick himself.
Seriously?
Who then went on to write his own CEO response, the corporate response that he makes later. Yeah, he wrote the Townsend condemnation. And you wonder why she fucking resigned. Granted, that woman is not a nice woman. You shouldn't hire her for any fucking thing.
She was a war crimes apologist.
Yeah, you shouldn't hire her for any fucking thing. But Kotick wrote that letter and pinned it on her.
Bobby Kotick wrote a release for a war crime apologist. That's terrible, but so funny.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
And I don't.
He really is the worst kind of person.
Yeah, so we found that out this week. We also found out that I don't know if this was covered last week or not. If I got it in last week or not. The reason that the female co-president, co-head of Blizzard that they appointed after Brack stepped down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and the guy that were co-owning were being paid two separate salaries. Were being paid in their new position based on their old position. And it wasn't until she turned in her resignation that Activision Blizzard went, whoa, wait. We'll raise your salary to his level. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
This is a sinking fucking ship.
So who is empowered to do something about this?
Well, the EEOC just collected their $18 million. So, nobody?
California is still pushing forward with their suit.
Sure, but theirs is completely in jeopardy because of the two guys that were spearheading it were former EEOC employees that started the EEOC investigation in the first place. So that's in jeopardy by itself. Who the hell knows where any actual litigation from?
Is it a public company?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yes, it is.
Well, then presumably their board of directors should be doing something about it.
Their board of directors is defending Mr. Kotick
Oh, Jesus.
because Mr. Kotick has made them an assload of money.
Well, since 2018, so he's only been in there for what, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, and he's consistently cooked the books apparently, but their company has been raking in money hand over fist, year over year, almost unnaturally so.
Yeah.
The problem is
Which
now,
is-
but now investors are calling for his departure. It won't be before because these board members, they like their seats.
A lot of the investors and shareholders who are calling for Kotick's head are nowhere near being majority stakeholders.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only a matter of time, especially now that you have Nintendo and the other two saying something. It's only a matter of time before this is going to start to hurt them in the.
Saying something does not equal action. That's the other big thing here. They've released statements. They haven't done anything yet to keep Activision Blizzard from being a part of their platforms. Like Microsoft's big statement was, we are constantly reevaluating our situation with Activision Blizzard. That's
Right.
basically we're looking at it. We're not going to do anything right yet, but we're looking at it.
Right, because they have a contract. I mean, right, like they've licensed their platform to Activision. They can't just pull it. Like they just can't say we don't like your CEO, so you're not allowed on here anymore. But I mean, they can certainly start to throttle. I mean, they can throttle and they can do other things too. I mean, it is a matter of time before this guy will be gone.
Oh yeah, no, I like I said, this is a sinking fucking ship.
Yeah, but it's pretty brazen for sure. It's
Oh yeah, I mean, it's weird that of all places, the Wall Street Journal is what exposes all this shit.
The Wall Street Journal, its opinion page notwithstanding, does a lot of decent investigative reporting, actually.
It's probably one of the few places left in the country that does it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
That'll wrap things up. Let's close things out with our usual segment. What are we watching? Justin.
Let's see. This week I watched Cowboy Bebop and the next chapter of He-Man, and got that all finished up. It was pretty good. Not as good as the first season, but it came to a pretty good conclusion. So those who haven't seen it, it's good. I also watched Ghostbusters.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk. I thought we were going to review Ghostbusters tonight.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude, you need to go see it. It's been out a week.
I haven't had time.
I know. You've got kids running around the house.
I'm a blue collar worker. Come on.
But yeah, I will say I enjoyed it, and I think everyone else here has enjoyed it, including Mr. Proton Pack over there in the corner.
He was going to enjoy it no matter what.
Well, of course,
That's
he
not
was
true.
fanboying. He was fanboying about it for about a month at a time. So
Yeah.
I mean, I yeah, because he was like, "Oh, we gotta review it." Like, we're gonna review it. We'll review it next week. But yeah, other than that, I am a Linux user now, or at least for the last week and a half, I've been on Linux Pop OS. It's definitely a learning curve. which is still ongoing. Will I stay on it? I'm not completely sold on it. It's honestly, there's a lot of stuff that I can just do easier in Windows than I can on Linux, but we'll see.
All right, thank you, Justin. Son.
So is it a learning curve or is it a regression curve?
Um,
Literally,
It's a learning curve.
because most of what Linux does is a bunch of the old school DOS stuff just stepped up a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is,
You,
but
you basically have to learn backwards.
Well, it's Unix basically. I mean, even DOS is based on Unix,
Mhm.
so
yeah,
it's really
I
more
mean,
Unix than DOS.
you still click and install stuff just like you can on Windows now.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some command line stuff. It's just not as pronounced as it is in Windows. But yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to.
So my biggest thing this week is the continuation of Chris Chibnall doing what he should have done for 2 fucking seasons of Doctor Who.
Oh, right. I forgot Doctor Who. Shit, I need to
That's
Holy
right. That happened this
shit,
week.
this episode was amazing.
I know where was he? You're right. It's just very
Where
frustrating.
was Chris Chibnall for the past 2 fucking seasons of Doctor Who? Because this is fucking Doctor Who.
So you're saying I should just skip ahead to this season?
Exactly.
Yes. Ignore 11 and 12.
Okay, so wait a minute. You will want to watch maybe the last 3 episodes of the season
Yeah.
of season 2.
And watch the Grace
Because
whenever
that interaction between the Doctor and the Master sets up everything for the Flux.
Don't forget about Grace.
And Grace.
Well, yeah, there's there's that episode.
The Doctor we didn't know about.
Yeah. Well, damn, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it. Justin's not seen it. Ross,
I saw it. I saw it. I just forgot to mention it in
I
my
haven't seen it.
review.
I'm one
Damn it,
episode
Carlos.
behind. I'm sorry.
This episode changes everything for what happens to the Doctor at the end.
Really?
Absolutely changes everything.
Oh, yes.
My jaw would not close for 5 fucking minutes because of what happens to the Doctor at the end of this episode.
Good. Well, finally.
Yes, I am so glad that Doctor Who is actually finally fucking back. Please.
Let's just say it is very unexpected, and it
Robert T.
will.
Davies, do not
Yes.
fuck this up when you take
It will
over.
make your balls drop to stone.
Okay.
Right, son?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, son. Jason.
So we saw Ghostbusters last week. It was a great movie. Not just because it was supposed to be, I was going to like it no matter what.
I mean, I love the end. The end was fucking awesome.
I've seen a lot of, like, Carlos, I think you posted, without going into details, and I know, but without spoiling anything, it was truly like an 80s movie, in the sense of the way 80s movies were. A lot of the reviews I've seen, like, criticized, like there weren't jokes, like
There was.
but they weren't like the 80s films humor wasn't based around like joke punchline. It was more situational, and that's where the humor in this film was. And it was more of like an 80s film in that way, like when you think about like 80s comedy, then the things that we're missing, when we look at comedies now, they're usually like gutter trash compared to like things like Stripes or Ghostbusters or so I really enjoyed it. I think that there's this weird. I mean, I don't want to say it's a weird backlash, but I think that like there's a lot of it's 95% on Rotten Tomatoes with the fan audience, really low on the critic, like 61% on the critic score. I think some of the critics are feeling like are backlashing it because of the backlash that the 2016 reboot got.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think it's this sort of like, but I thought it was a really good movie. I thought it was, everything it needed to be. It did touch on the nostalgia a lot, but anyway, but yeah. So,
Yeah, it was good. I like the music though. I was so happy to see they bring the music back.
There were some things they did that I really liked. I love that they put it in a completely different setting in Oklahoma. I think that bought it some time. It was definitely I enjoyed the film, but I didn't feel, the things about those 80s movies, including Ghostbusters, there was a genuine sense of awe in them that I just did not get out of this film with the younger characters.
Not even at the end.
Well, more at the end, but even then, that felt shoehorned on because it was like, I'm not going to spoil things, but let's say they just take a very deep dive into nostalgia and they try to let the nostalgia do the work that the story should be doing on its own. And when you do that, I think that's a real flaw in the storytelling, that you're depending on nostalgia to propel the movie forward instead of having the story do that on its own. And I felt that was its greatest weakness.
Well, they just tacked the nostalgia part on the end, basically, though. A lot of the big reveal, anyways.
Yeah, on the whole resolution of the plot, it's not like tacked on like a tag. It's like the whole resolution of the story depends on these nostalgic things that are brought into play, and they just don't feel motivated. They feel like plopped in at the last minute to make everything right.
We'll have to talk about it next week, Carlos, because
we'll talk about it. Well, we can argue more next week.
Carlos. Thank
It was
you,
awesome.
Jason. Carlos, what do you watch this week?
Okay, so also Ghostbusters, but again, I can wait until next week to go into more depth than I have already. Tonight, I saw Encanto, which is the new Disney animated film. A gorgeous film, really great music. Another Lin-Manuel Miranda is like going gangbusters right now between Tick Tick Boom, now this, and there was a lot to like. It had a really difficult second act to third act transition. I don't know how many of you are planning on seeing it, but it's a cute sort of magical realism film. It's set in Colombia, my home country, so that was kind of cool. Most of it's like builds up to this, like it's heading towards this really great sort of thing, and then it just sort of fizzles. Like that was way too easy. They fixed this like way too easy. And so I felt like I did a really good job setting up the story, but didn't really follow through at the end with a really strong ending. So I was a little sad about that. But it looked gorgeous and the songs were great and stuff. So that was what I did. What else? I watched. I think I talked already about Foundation, right? Last week? Did I talk about that last week?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So that, and of course, Morning Show, which wrapped up on Apple TV this past week. And I think that's been about it. Even though I had this week off, I was sort of out and about doing things, getting ready for Thanksgiving. So I didn't actually get to watch a ton of new stuff on television this week.
Yeah, it's well, thank you, Carlos. About the same for me. In between work and prepping for the holiday and receiving guests, not a lot of spare time and watching stuff. Though I have been going hard on my painting streams. It's becoming quite popular. Greg and his wife show up for almost every one and cause me all kinds of fun. Here's
What are you painting?
these.
Oh, right, you're painting your characters. Right,
Yeah.
right.
This
Yes.
is the progress so far. This squad started out as a damaged set that I got from a guy in Germany. Still have some marks in the bottom to weight the pieces down. At this stage, they're finally looking table ready, but there's some details that I need to do before I start adding some more highlights to really give the models depth. But I'm really pleased with how they're turning out. I didn't expect to enjoy painting on stream near as much.
That actually, I would probably watch that. I'm fascinated by that sort of thing.
You talk about happy little trees when you're painting.
I was just about to make that joke, you bastard.
There's a little dab here.
You bastard.
Just a little dab over here. Just a little dab to the left. Oh, just smudge it out right there.
Well, it's mostly me painting and then holding 3 or 4 different conversations with whoever's in chat. So we'll be talking about Star Trek 1 second, then I pivot to talking about Warhammer lore, then I pivot to talk about whatever else someone else has brought up, and it's just alternating back and forth between these different conversations. All the while I'm just holding down a miniature and putting pigment on it. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. Otherwise, there was some holiday film watching this past week. Watched Mulan, most of Mulan for the first time in a long time, as well as Paw Patrol, the movie on repeat. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's not a bad film, so it's not that bad. But that'll about do it.
So we don't have a Florida Man segment this week. But there is a video that I found this week Justin, I'm going to link this to you, and I don't know
if I can play it. We'll see. I don't think I can.
Because I don't know. I found this. I really want this to be our Florida Man thing.
Let's do it.
The week.
Yeah, it's not going to let me do audio.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm not in Google Chrome. I need to get that installed so I can do audio.
Okie dokie.
I'll make sure to have that go for next week. But I will snag this and I will save it and pull the video down, and then that way we can upload it and we will have it.
Cool.
Let me save that. And I will do my thing. And we'll go to YouTube download it.
The voice actor for the characters in this video is actually really good. I feel like
I've got it up.
Yeah, I feel like
Can you share the audio?
I can share the audio.
Go for it. I'll add it in when you. If you accept your man invite in the email, you'll be able to do it too. You'll have the power. Did Carlos break his setup? Carlos?
Yes.
Did you break
No way,
everything?
Toto.
Pardon?
They stole over 1 million bars worth of latinum in apes from me.
What are you talking about, Quark? I'm very busy.
I was having maintenance done on one of my Quarkcoin servers.
I've had complaints about the amount of station power they're using.
They exploited a backdoor in the system and got away with several highly collectible Quarkspar NFTs.
What do these NFTs look like?
Here, I drew them myself.
Not much of an artist, are you?
The art's not important. They stole the blockchain authentication codes for these pieces.
I thought you said that whoever had the blockchain was the owner of the NFT. That the token was non-fungible.
Yes?
Yet you still claim ownership despite having lost the code.
Are you going to help me or not?
What do you want me to do exactly?
I want you to contact Starfleet, the Ferengi Commerce Authority, everyone, and blacklist these NFTs. Nobody wants stolen apes.
I seem to recall you taking great glee in explaining that centralized platforms were obsolete thanks to NFTs.
Well...
But now you want the authorities' help in policing the sale of these things. things.
I can see I'm wasting my time.
The only people who wasted their time were the thieves who bothered acquiring these hideous things.
You obviously don't know the first thing about cryptocurrency.
I know only a fool would put real money behind such an obvious scam.
There you are, brother. I thought it over. Oh, I'm ready to convert my savings into Quark coin.
Who did they get to do those voices?
I
That
don't
was
know.
Brilliant.
So good, isn't it?
And okay, here's the context here. So he pretty much described what NFTs are and pretty much what they are. It's a bunch of shitty artwork that people have put together, sold them on the internet, and people are buying them, and people are making a bunch of money off of dumbass stuff. Someone found the artwork that these tokens are linked to, stole that artwork, which was all held on Google Drives and cloud storage, and put it up on the Pirate Bay. So
someone literally freed the code.
They stole every single NFT that has been made up to this point, and he's giving it away for free on the Pirate Bay. They hold all the tokens. So all this stuff that people have been paying millions of dollars for has just been stolen.
And because it's decentralized, there's really nothing a centralized government can do.
Right.
A bunch of people just got ripped off. After already getting ripped off. Because that little picture that Quark showed, that's essentially what these NFTs are. That's it.
Oopsies.
Oh my god. That is, son, thank you.
You got NFTs, don't you, Carlos?
Thank you.
What's that?
Welcome.
No, I have
You
not.
have it. No.
I have no NFTs.
This was
Not
such a
planning on.
great way to
I have
end the night.
cryptocurrency, but no NFTs.
Oh, thank you guys for watching tonight on this little improvised
Casual Friday.
casual post-Thanksgiving
We're
show.
friendly little bits. And
It was a lot of fun to mix things up tonight.
It
Next
was.
week we'll be back to a more formal roundtable type.
I actually kind of like this format.
It'd be nice to mix things up every now and again.
It just, yeah, it's fun.
That
Good
was,
to see you, Beardface.
Justin, where can people find you?
Yeah. By the way, Jason. Twitch TV Commander Shepherd.
Son.
Wouldn't that be Ensign Pope Fosse at that point? You can find me at twitch.tv/sunCL. I usually stream on Sundays and Tuesdays at about 3 p.m. Central, so 4 p.m. Eastern.
Jason.
You can find me at work, toiling away at whatever my job needs me to do. That particular day.
Carlos.
Axe Monitor on Facebook and Twitter.
You could find our friend Greg at Mongoose Gaming 88. And if you're watching me on Twitch, you're already in the right place. Twitch.tv/live_love_play. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. You guys make all of this worthwhile. I'm so glad to have you here, and I hope you have a good rest of your week, your holiday, and your weekend. We'll see you next time. Son, if you would please.
Remember, sweeties, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you.
Until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play every day. Justin.
What was that?